Hi. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Good to see everybody in chat. Welcome. So today the plan is to play some Raging Loop. We are on part 3. I'll give a bit of a recap for those of you joining for the first time. But here is everybody's spoiler warning. Kind of goes without saying, but oh my goodness, Ark, thank you. Oh no, I should say Ishwan, thank you for the gift sub to Ark the Pie King. Much appreciated. Good to see you here. Wow, thank you. I'm flattered. So spoiler warning for everybody who is interested. This is an older game, but as I learned recently, I have a funny story before we get started. So I'm in a bunch of discords. One of them I'm in is Mosin's Discord. It's like the EU uni. It's not the EU Unicord. It's like Mosin's like personal Discord. It's where I learned how to play Uni mostly. So I saw a picture of the protagonist in the VC text in there, and I was like, that's weird. He's hey Mo. I'm just talking about how I got spoiled in your Discord. Good to see you here. So he was also playing Raging Loop, which is insane. He started before me, but like not longer than maybe a week ago. And there was some like, you know, just some screen caps and stuff. I guess they were talking about it in VC. And sure enough, I saw a spoiler. So I'm giving everyone else the spoiler warning. This is an older game, so spoilers are usually on the table or whatever. But we are going to go full spoilers here. They do ask you not to stream the full game. I'm going to stream the full game over time. It is old enough, I think. If they want to come after me, they can try. Anyways, so recap up to this point, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So we are playing as Fusaishi Haruaki, I believe is his name. I call him Protag usually. He is some kind of college graduate, and it looks like he studied like forensics or biology or something, because he's very good at forensics, as we'll see, and I think that'll come into play. But he's riding his motorcycle down the highway to forget. He said he broke up with his girlfriend, so he's riding down the highway to forget, and he crashes, or I guess he gets lost more than crashes, and gets lost, hits a dead end, falls into a ditch, meets a girl named Chiemi. I don't remember her her first name, but Chiemi takes him back to her village of residence, heals him up. We meet everyone in the town. It's a really weird town. It's like old-fashioned, and then we learn it's so old-fashioned that they worship this kind of antiquated, you know, religion system that nobody else really follows, that involves like wolves. And essentially one of their ritualistic customs is every so often the wolves come out from the Saranaga. The Saranaga is like the land of the dead, or it's like the line between the dead and the living. It's like a river, the Saranaga River, and superstition says, you know, bad stuff comes from there. So once in a while the wolves come from there, and then the town is required to literally play a game of werewolf, where X number of townsfolk are wolves in their hosts' bodies, or they, you know, take the form of their hosts, and then the townsfolk get the chance to sniff out and execute those wolves. They're given like special powers. So there's the snake, who once a night can find out if somebody is town or werewolf. There's the two monkeys, who know each other are safe, who know each other are town. There is the spider, who can once a night protect one of the individuals from being killed by the wolves. And there's the crow, who can find out if the body of the person hanged was town or werewolf. So we just found out that Mura, or I think his name's Takumi. He is the snake. He outed himself frame 1 and said, I am the snake, and put a big target on his head. We learned that he really wants to protect the town. Sorry, I gotta stay hydrated. That he really wants to protect the town. So he outed himself frame 1. The kills that happened night 1 were just outsiders, 2 reporters. And night 2, it's kind of like night 1, but the second kill was on the young punk kid whose name I never bothered to remember. He's dead, so it doesn't matter. He died from the wolves. Simultaneously, the old man who keeps the town safe also died, but he does not appear to have died by wolves. He appears to have been killed by a large rock to the head. And we are about to start the next tribunal. They call it the feast. We're about to start that on the following night. So, Ryer, your memory is insane. Really? Thanks. That's so nice. So we're about to start the next night where we will be left off. So let me cut the music. Let me get the game going. The music in this game also is like S tier. It's so good. Yeah, there's a lot of jammies in this. I also have my heart rate monitor because this is a scary game and I get scared easily. So when stuff's about to go down, you might see this cranking. All right. Oh, and then there's this girl. I've got thoughts on this girl. All right, let's get it. Ooh. Okay. All right, let's begin the feast. What's up, Jamal? Good to see you there. We gotta do something about the one who killed the old man and Yoshi. Okay, the kid's name was Yoshi. His words got the attention of basically everyone present. But they didn't reach the sobbing mother and her older son, who was gently consoling her. I gotta loosen up my lips real quick. I didn't talk much today in preparation for this, which is good. There he is, Yoshitsugu-kun. Why did he have to go against the laws? His efforts and death had only worked to corner not just his mother, but everyone else here. It was useless. He'd gotten some weird fur for us? No one, not even me, had any doubts about what we were dealing with here. A situation where everyone was desperate, acted on their own accord, and didn't know how to use their lives well was basically the worst. And apparently, this line of thinking I'd had would foreshadow the next turn of events. Oh yeah, it's about to go down. Where did Haru-chan go? Shit. Why was everyone in such a hurry to do the worst thing possible? Hey. Do you have a mama? I like your VTuber persona. Thank you. Do I have a mama? Not sure what that means. I'm not familiar with the context there. Like a VTubing mentor of sorts? I do not, if that's the case. I just try to X-copy other things, well, much like I do with fighting games. Chemi Sarazawa. Shit. Chikamochi Kamoshida, Takumi Muro, and I went out to search for Haru Makishima. Kaori-san showed no signs of calming down, so Yasunaga-kun stayed with her. Mama equals designer of your avatar? That's me! Well, I didn't design it. I bought, you can see all the details below in my stream description. Basically, I bought this 3D model for VR chat, and now I like kind of rigged it up the way I wanted it, and I'm using it for VTubing. Kyonosuke Shi refused to come, arguing that it could be bad if there wasn't enough manpower around the dining hall, and he wasn't wrong about that. It wasn't unlikely that some fur-covered murderer, or Haru-chan's kidnapper, was still around. Kidnapper? Please, she ran off on her own. To prevent any surprise attacks or accidents, we split into pairs. We were given a hoe and a sickle for self-defense. Be careful, you two. VTubing is the future. I love it. I have so much fun doing it. I just really, really love it. Shout if something happens. Loud enough so we can hear you, but low enough so that others can't. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's go, Mochi. Alright, so we're partnered with Mochi. Time to do work, Hassan. The skirt would have made the search harder for him, so he changed into his school uniform. It wasn't cut out for the job either, but he had no other clothes. At least it was better than a one-piece dress. He seemed to enjoy wearing girls' clothing, so changing into the uniform was probably his way of showing that he was serious about this. He kept his easygoing tone of voice, but I felt there was some gravity in his eyes too. He might have been pretty shaken. Yeah, he cares a lot for Haru, so... Haru-chan! Haru-chan! We walked around Yoshimizu, shouting until our throats became dry. We checked every bush, all the patches of tall grass, and behind every tree. We even searched the water around the paddy fields, but it didn't feel like we were any closer to finding her. What do you think happened to her? I don't know. Maybe she's shocked by her granddad's death. Alright, a side note, I think she killed her grandfather. That's my headcanon here. I mean, it's like the obvious choice, but I think she killed her grandfather. No. Sorry, taking a drink of water. No, before that. She'd been acting weird since morning. Was she? Is she really fastidious or something? Fast what? You know, a clean freak. Hates anything dirty. I think I saw hints of that ever since we first met. This guy is suspicious too, this protag. I don't buy into his story. I low-key think he killed his girlfriend. Oh. I'd say she's just the greatest scaredy cat out there. That's me. She's always really afraid of the corruption talk. Maybe she was just scared of getting corrupted. Naruhodo. The cat with the crossed arms. Fear based on superstition. That made sense. But why had it suddenly gotten worse? Well, maybe because the corruption is here. What had happened last night? That's why I don't think Haru-chan could kill anyone if she was a wolf. Was that what you think? I don't know if she is one or not, but I really don't think she could if she was. Wow, that's very prudent of you. It's unlike you. Well, we're not talking about me here. I don't want to try to get a read on you. I just want to hear your ideas on what's going on with Haru-chan right now. I have no idea who or what you're confused about. But to me, Haru-chan is important as Yasun, if not more. I don't really care about anyone else. So, we should just find her. Good point. But no matter how hard we searched, we saw no sign of her. She could have been hiding somewhere, or maybe she collapsed. Papa Pesto, thank you for the resub.
Here to simp again.
11 months? Damn. Thank you so much for the constant support. Hope to see you sometime soon. But I was beginning to entertain another idea. You got the TTS? Yeah. Yeah, I updated all my sub updates. What if she ran away from Yasumizu? I asked, knowing everybody would deny the idea. That'd be hard to believe. When the mist comes, Yasumizu is connected to Yomi, Bachan's words. So, anyone trying to escape would just end up there. Not to mention, those mountains are dangerous. All that considered, if there was something that'd drive her to escape from the village, what could it be? Everyone fell silent. They couldn't even imagine it. It was like their brains had stopped working. Been there. If she'd actually wandered out into danger, then we'd wasted too much time searching for her in the village. I had to hurry, so I didn't hesitate to use some big assumptions that bordered on chicanery. I love the vocabulary of this game too. What if she can no longer trust the village or the people here? What do you mean? She might have seen something at night or early morning, or come to some sort of realization. Like, for example, what if she found out that someone she knows well is a wolf who killed people like it was no big deal? Oh, like she witnessed who the wolf was? Everyone gasped. She's young, so she's still pretty unstable. And since Yasumizu is so small, it wouldn't be strange if she felt like she lost her place here if someone betrayed her. The girl seems pretty emotional, so it makes sense that she'd jump straight to running away, right? You make a solid argument. But then, what do we do? Just give up? That was the thought of someone from Yasumizu. Did judgy much? I'll go look for her. I'm not afraid of the corruption. And that was the thought of someone from Yasumizu who had a few screws loose. Anyway, I'm an outsider. I'm not exactly averse to leaving anyways, so I'll look for her too. Mochi is Zazed. He's Mochi is corruption pilled, wolf pilled. I said I'd stop you, didn't I? Don't worry, I'll head back the moment it gets dangerous. She definitely won't head in Saranaga's direction, so I'll focus on the path to the school. Also, adults shouldn't turn their back on children, right? Pissed. This guy's pissed. Hassan! I can't argue against that. Of course, it's possible that she's still in Yasumizu, so you two keep on searching for her here. Now, dude, I'm kind of convinced she bolted. Leave it to me. Make sure you run away if it gets dangerous. Hassan, about what you just said. What do you mean? You know, the thing about Haru-chan losing trust in everyone as a result of something she saw. And? That didn't actually happen, did it? Who knows? I was just raising the possibility. It's likely though, isn't it? I don't like this grass sound. The sound design in this game is also quite good. So, what? You think she saw me or Yasun walking around with a mouthful of huge fangs? Suspect. That's a possibility too. So, when people play Werewolf, anyone who's played Werewolf in the chat, you know there's that one person who, when they're the wolf, they just turn into a total loon. They just start saying random stuff to, like, in quotes, throw you off track of them being the wolf. Mochi might be giving some of those vibes off right now. Is that just your intuition talking? Yep. Yeah, I play like that. Oh, I bet that's hilarious. Oh wait, I've seen you play Among Us, dude. I know how you play those types of games. You just start going after MFers. You just start going after motherfuckers when you're the imposter. I also feel like this Feast of the Yomi Purge is designed to keep the wolves from being outed easily. Oh yeah, no shit. You can't see them at night because you can't walk outside. Can't stay gathered in one place and watch each other. You can't call the police, so there can't be any investigations. That actually makes sense why there's the like lock yourself alone rule. Since everything's covered in mist, things can happen without anyone realizing. And that's why you can't get that sort of solid proof. How could players send people to be hanged without the slightest bit of material evidence? Oh, this game was clearly made before Among Us came out, because that's what everybody does round one. If you ignored the weird guardian powers, it was all quibbles, agitation, sophistry, emotional arguments, connections, popularity, gaslighting, and basically the power of communication. I don't really get why, but yeah, I think it's designed that way on purpose. Nothing was certain. They were put in dangerous arguments, their only weapon being their eloquence. It was a feast of doubting, hurting, and eventually killing one another. If there was such malice behind this, you know what would be fun? I wonder if a game of Werewolf would actually be really fun at a major with like 20-something FGC people. I think that might be a lot of fun. Then Mochi had a point. Are you a detective or something? How old is this game? This game's about 5 years old. 5-6 years old. Huh? No, that'd be Yasun. He might know more than he lets on. This game is absolutely made to be. It's inspired by the game Werewolf, and they even said straight up, like, that's what the point of this is. We arrived at the mountain pass separating Yasumizu from the rest of the world. The large stones at the sides were like torii without a top. They might have had religious significance. There's no rule against stepping beyond here, right? Nope. Only that you can't run away from the feast. We were going out to find Haru-chan, so we were good. Ignoring the fact that Haru-chan was breaking the law, we passed between the stones. But we soon had to stop. Uh-oh. Oh, the path was blocked by a landslide. According to Mochi, despite being pretty rocky, the ground in this area was strangely fragile, so landslides weren't that uncommon. There had been some pretty bad rain 3 nights ago, hadn't there? If that was related to the mist's appearance, it wasn't unlikely that we get both the mist and this landslide at the same time. Despite that, this felt a little too convenient. I had to consider the possibility that the people in the settlement above blocked the road to keep the Yombito from getting through. Hassan! There was something way more important here. We found footprints in the still damp mud. Detective mode. It was proof that she'd passed through here. They disappeared into a small cliff that only reached up to my shoulders. She had to have climbed up and disappeared into the forest. Let's hurry. Yeah. The term virgin forest was used to describe forests that were still untouched by mankind, letting nature have complete control over it. Many of the cedars here looked imported, so that term probably didn't apply here. However, it wasn't tended to whatsoever, so the words natural or undeveloped definitely still worked. There were many fern saplings on the surface, a canopy of leaves above, and a thick mist all around. It certainly didn't feel like a place humans were welcome. For better or worse, the new ferns seemed slightly trampled, indicating someone had passed through recently. Kochida! Be careful. She got lost on this road after all. Haru-chan? Oh, whoa. Should you really be shouting like that? It's one of the basics of living in the mountains. The beasts will run away if you scream. Oh yeah, I'd almost forgotten about the very real threat of wild animals. I realized I'd lost myself in this mood and suddenly became kind of embarrassed. Hey, Haru-chan! Say something! Shouting over and over, we kept moving forward. She tried to follow the path, but all the cliffs and boulders in the way made her stray from it. 10 minutes later, we had lost all sense of direction. Yeah, this place really was dangerous. Could we really find her? And even if we did, would it be too late? I was reminded of Yoshitsugu Oribe and his cruel fate. We were about to lose yet another life, and that turned out to be a really real possibility. Oh, is that Haru? I heard some weak weeping. Oh, Haru-chan. Mochi. Stay away. Oh God, what's gonna happen? Are you alright? Please, don't come after me. I had a bad feeling about this. Something really bad might have happened to her. Wait. Hey, wait. Mochi went after the voice with no hesitation. His body was quickly buried under all the plants and mists. Hassan, come on, give me a hand. His lack of hesitation felt dangerous in some way. Was I just imagining it? Anyways, I went after him and quickly caught up. It hurts. It hurts. Haru Makishima was buried under all the greenery. It's her leg. Ah, ow. I walked up and, man, this is pretty bad. Her leg was covered in blood. Her shoe and foot were pierced by a sapling that had broken right at the bottom. Oh, ow, ow. She stepped on this? Can we break it off? Nope. We gotta pull it out. But that'll open up the wound. There's some lawn marsh, pennywort, and chameleon plants here. We can close it with them. You can do that. Nosato is the family that made medicine. First, I'd heard of that, but I had no choice but to believe him. She resisted verbally, but was too tired and weakened to do it physically. I picked her up, doing my best to ignore her wailing because of the pain, and pulled her away from the branch. Chikamochi quickly took care of her wound and used a handkerchief to stop the bleeding. Let's go back. Can you carry her? Of course. You sure you don't want to carry her? Who knows, but I don't have the build for it. I thought of saying that Haruchan would have preferred him, but she was barely conscious thanks to the pain. We didn't have time to waste on sentimentality. Lead the way. One lost person is enough for today. Going back is easy, but it really does look like getting out is impossible. So I guess she got punished for trying to escape. Haruchan, I'm glad you're alright. She isn't. Takumi-ni, call Taiba. We've got a wound to patch. Oh, got it. Enthusiasm, I like it. Our return caused a quick commotion, and by the time things had begun to calm down, it was way past noon. Haru Makishima's escape attempt distracted everyone, but none of the problems were actually solved. Kanzo Makishimashi was killed by the wolves, while Yoshitsugu Oribe was taken by the corruption. Oh, is that what happened? Okay, Kanzo is the old man. So I guess the old man was killed by the wolf, and Yoshitsugu just broke the rules and was corrupted because he turned into a melt. Yoshitsugu-kun's death was especially problematic. Each meaningless death was yet another obstacle against resolving the feast. Even if they picked and hung someone during the day, it wouldn't guarantee that there'd be one less wolf. It was way more likely that they'd gotten rid of an innocent. Even worse, the wolves in the group would most likely try to leverage the hangings in their favor. They'd claim to be innocent while casting doubt and blame on the other survivors. To win, the humans needed to do their best to see through such trickery and identify the wolves, and maybe even make them confess. That was how I saw it anyway. I was the one with the least info here. That in mind, all humans who died by breaking the rules were actually doing the wolves a favor. If she'd actually disappeared, I'd have said the same about Haru, assuming she was human anyway. Perhaps someone encouraged them to break the rules? If that was the case, these wolves were ruthless, knew the rules well, and were steadily advancing toward complete victory while all the humans lay dead. That'd be someone influential or a player who's invaluable to the humans. That would be the first target, is I think the reference here. Okay. That'd be Kanzo-ji-chan. Or maybe Yasuku. And just as we feared yesterday, the wolves had silenced one of the most important people in the feast, the old man. It was hard to believe they'd chosen him just because they were scum or because they didn't like him. The situation was really bad. Yeah, so I think worth noting here is that the wolves, as I understand it, are possessed humans. Or like they're humans, like they're not going to act on their grudges that they had as humans. If they hated someone, they're not just going to kill them because they hated them. They're going to kill them in favor of the game. And that's kind of what they're saying here. Another thing to note was that Yoshi's death greatly affected Kaori-san, who was responsible for everyone's meals. That was a major problem. Yeah, that's real strategic of the wolves. Oh my god. Good work, everyone. Here's some... When she tried to give us the tea once we returned from the search, her face was pale, and she was shaking like she was having a seizure. Despite her attempt to carry on as normal, her composure was in pieces. It was so painful, I could barely watch. Takumi-san should have been supporting her, but he was just gloomily hanging his head. In the end, Chiemi had led Kaori-san back to her room and stay at her side. I could only hope that that was enough to calm her down. However, it was nearly time to do the inevitable. I recall you saying that we should start today's feast. Now is a good time as any, don't you think? This guy's the worst, by the way. Kyonosuke, she addressed the downhearted people gathered in the dining hall. Does it look to you like anyone's up for it? The day will end at this rate. The wolves are clearly intent on killing us all. I don't think he's a wolf, by the way, for what it's worth. I don't think Kyonosuke is a wolf. Can we really waste time waiting in a situation like this? It'd work in their favor. We have to pick someone to hang, no matter what. Don't you agree, Muro? I think he is the crow. Yeah, you mentioned that last time. I think that would make a lot of sense plot-wise. All right, Yasunaga, try talking everyone upstairs. That was where Tai-san looked after Haru-chan, and Chiemi looked after Kaori-san. Okay, I'll go. You don't have to, Mochi. Just let me. Chikamochi winked at me for some reason. It might take a while. Yeah, take your time. Everyone does have to be there after all. I will go prepare. Please do. Wait. Now is my chance. Hey, Yasunaga-kun, can we chat? About what? I'm sorry about your brother. Thank you. That makes me feel a bit better. For both him and I. That's a very mature way to talk about it. Maybe I should have sounded more my age then. And this boy was already pretty mature. Yeah, that's in character for him, honestly. You didn't get along with your brother. That's not it. We didn't always see eye to eye, especially recently. But he was really a good guy. I think so too. It seemed like, deep down, this tough guy routine was really just an act. How did he get along with your mother? He got along. Despite all he said, he really loved her. And she probably loved him more than me. No, that's not what I was asking. Sorry. Human relationships are complicated. Prying too deeply wasn't a good idea. I'm sorry. What was it you wanted to know? A few things. Mostly about the legend. Tai-san would be a better person to ask about that. No, I'm sorry. I need the opinion of someone more rational. First question. Why do the wolves kill the humans? Because they're angry at the humans for tricking and killing them. Let me rephrase that. Why do the people given the role of wolf suddenly become able to kill their friends and family with no remorse? Are you suspicious of Haru-chan and I? Oh no, he's crumbling, dude. You don't just deflect that quickly. No. Sorry, that's not it. I want you to look at this from a general perspective. Say you've been told that you're a wolf. Could you just accept it and start killing people? No. Well, yeah, exactly. So, of course, there are those who could, but most couldn't. Either out of fear or out of guilt. Mochi is a good example. The people here are afraid of certain things, but they do have lines drawn in the sand. This is a good way to investigate the rules, actually, because, like, you could rule out a bunch of people if they can't go against their nature to kill. Then again, you don't really know someone's true nature. If the lives of those they care about are on the line, they won't hesitate to face the corruption and the wolves. Well, that's only because Mochi is special. He's a genius. Really? Yes. He can easily make predictions and decisions normal people can't. And he'll readily throw anyone or anything, throw away anyone or anything he doesn't care about. Everyone else thinks he's just weird, but I think he's a genius. He's got that Yop play style, the unorganized player. He does these genius plays, but everyone calls him random, but he's really a genius. I see. I may agree with you there. But anyways, what I'm saying is that you people aren't the types to magically become murderers just because of some corruption, right? Of course, there'd be people who would do it just because the corruption would come for them if they didn't do it, but even then, would they do it without hesitation? The wolves we're dealing with aren't hesitating at all. I don't know where you're going with this, but I think it depends on the personality of whoever the wolf is. It'd be easy for people who never had any aversion to killing. But there are 2 wolves, right? Oh, yeah. It seems that way. I see. Well, let me ask you this then. Does Yasumizu have more than one person that's capable of murder? One psycho in a group of people I could see, but 2 seems more unlikely. I think a better assumption is that there's some way to turn even an ordinary person into a ruthless killer. That isn't true. The lack of infighting doesn't make sense under the current circumstances. When you put it like that, this is just something I heard from my teacher at school, but you could do it by giving them something to fight for, couldn't you? Basically, you need to make them think that they're doing the right thing. I see. Make them think the wolves are doing the right thing. That's an interesting way to look at it. It's how countries convince other people to go to war. Yes, that's what the lesson was about, but I think your perspective is a bit flawed. By what do you mean by that? For example, most of the girls in the settlement are timid and prefer to leave the big decisions to the men. Even Haru-chan is like that. So, if the wolves are a man and a woman, it's entirely possible that the man's just taking the lead and doing the killing while the woman is just following along. Also, for all we know, the wolves could be arguing all the time, and they just didn't happen to hesitate in killing this one time. Yep, that's a good point. But I do think that there's some secret as to why this feast is lasting so long. Traditions like these normally die out with time. It makes me think there must be a way to ensure that the killings continue. But your idea is certainly interesting. I don't think you should call it interesting. Not in a situation like this. Oh, sorry about that. That was insincere of me. Let me ask you one more thing, though. Sure. I was working under the assumption that nothing particularly strange is happening here. But what about you? Do you think there's something mysterious going on here? I don't want to believe it, but I think there is. Why is that? Did you see a god or a monster or something? No, it's hard to put into words, but the fact that the mist appeared when we had a whole 4 outsiders here made it feel like there was a higher power at work. No matter how I look at it, I don't think mist like this could have been produced by human hands. Not to mention that it's strange how the wolves can enter sheltered houses and kill the people there. It's also the fact that if one of us killed someone, you'd see a change in their behavior, or at least some evidence would be left behind. We can't explain these things, so yes, I do think there's something mysterious going on. I see. Alright, sorry for asking such a weird question. By the way, who do you think are the wolves? Fusaishi Haruaki-san, that's us. He cut me off with a stern voice. Sorry, but this is something we only talk about in the feast. You don't have the right to ask that. Oh, okay, my bad. Listen, we have to hold the feast to decide which of us we should sacrifice today. It's important to propose who we think is suspicious, but it's also very dangerous. Something we said outside of the feast could be used against us, and could become a fatal mistake. The fact that you asked me makes me feel like there's someone's maliciously using you against me. So please stop. That's a good point, actually. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, but now, I won't blindly believe that you're an ill omen, but I won't stop suspecting that you're involved in this somehow. If I ever find out you had something to do with Yoshitsugu's death, I'll... Yo, what, kill me? He glared at me. I'll have to avenge my little brother. I see. Of course you would. I'll just head to the cage and do my best to be as unsuspicious as possible. Oh. You shouldn't do that. Why is that? Today's feast might drag out until evening. It might be too late by then. You should go to your room in the dorm and ask someone outside to block the door handle with a stick. Okay, I see. Good idea. This boy was really smart. If Takumi Muro was a site foreman type, he was the manager type. I could see a talent for using people. Can I ask something too? Sure. Do you like Chiene? Whoa. From a political standpoint, I should say no. But yeah, she's likable. So desu ka. Well, she seems pretty available, so she'd probably date me if I or, anyone else asked. Elbow, elbow. Oh, are you being considerate of me? I had a feeling Mochi told you something weird. It's not like that. What I felt for her is a thing of the past. She was the only older girl around these parts, so I was attracted to her. And that's all. This place was gloomy and serious, and she was the only free-spirited person here. She's as amazing as Mochi. You're saying she's a rascal? Yes. So much so that she almost killed someone? Huh? Look at his face. He's like, oh, say that again? Well, it was an accident, though. It's strange you think she's available. Chiene is actually pretty shy. Still nice, even after saying he might kill you? Well, we don't have to worry about that. We didn't kill the brother, right? Is she now? Or maybe she just changed a lot during her 3 years of college. That does happen. So yeah, I've already gotten over her. Now I feel like you're the one being weirdly considerate. That's not healthy, you know. It's all good if you like her. This is hardly the time or place for that. Yep, good point. That was it, huh? Eventually, everyone gathered and went to the hall. Just as I was told, I asked for them to lock me in my room. After getting everyone, including Takumi-san and Tai-san, to understand, Yasunaga-kun, Chieme, and I went to the dorm. Chiene, you think you can jump from the window to the branches? The hell? No way! Even if he made it down, he couldn't get back. Oh, if I could do it, okay. The two verified how secure a place this was to lock me up. Even if they were the wolves, it'd be impossible to outwit them. Humans stood no chance. Anyway, we're locking you in. We'll come open it up if we have the time, but you may end up staying like this until morning. Alright, fine by me. It's gonna be hard, but I hope you do well. Thanks. Sorry you're caught up in the problems of such a crappy village. I'm more worried about you. Wow, isn't that nice? I'll do my best. All done? We're locking you in then. Yep. You be careful too, Yasunaga-kun. You're now your mother's only child. Gross. Yes, that's true. And so the door was closed. I could hear them set up the stick. So far, the only ones I talked face to face were Chieme, Takumi, Mochi, and Yasunaga. Just 4. The ones I hadn't talked to yet were Tai, Rikako, Meiko, Kaori, Haru, Kyonosuke, and Old Wolf Guy. 7 I haven't talked to. I had no idea if there was significance in that, but I want to know what kind of people they all were. 4 people had already died, and if you ignored me, there were 11 left. Once the snake revealed what Kyonosuke was, he and the snake, Takumi-san, would be the only ones with confirmed roles. The other 9 would be suspects. When one was hanged, there'd be 8, and when one died in the night, there'd be 7. Which was still quite a lot. They had to hurry before it was too late. The humans had to act now. Hello. Whoa, what? The supposedly fixed door slightly opened up. It was Chieme. I forgot, but I might not get to give you your dinner, so here, have this at least. She threw me a yellow food box, the kind you could find at any convenience store. Ah, thank you. Seriously, thank you. Don't mind it. Oh, Chieme, by the way. Oh? Tell the monkeys to reveal themselves. Monkey S, dude. Tell the monkeys to reveal themselves? But why? Think about it. You'll understand. And you'll know you have to do something before it's too late. Right. Chiene, what are you doing? There's no time. Go. Yeah. Okay. She closed the door and put the stick back. All right, what next? Have the monkeys reveal themselves, huh? I guess that makes it so there's more potential trustworthy people to talk through. It's not like it makes the wolves any more deadly, because the wolves already have a prime target in Mura. So like it makes sense that the monkeys would reveal themselves. Yeah, exactly. Like it really actually tips the scales, and it's like the wolves already don't care if they're monkeys or not. So, and then the monkeys can vouch for each other. Someone could totally like throw a wrench in that though. Oh, sorry, stretching a little bit. Someone could totally throw a wrench in that though. All right, Haru-chan, is your wound all right? It's fine. I know it's not a good time to ask, but what exactly happened? It was pretty bad. I'll tell you that much. Whatever. Let's just start. Everyone had a drink. Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge. Let's get to it. Takumi, did the snake's power work last night? Yeah. It did. Well, tell us. Kyo is a human. I mean, yeah, we all knew that. Of course I'm no wolf. I hate this guy. Of course I'm no wolf. That means Muro and I are no longer suspects, right? It does. Now, the next level play, the Giga play, is you out yourself as the snake. You're the wolves. You out yourself as the snake, you check out the other wolf, and you say they're human. That's a play. And then then you're kind of boned night 2. But that's probably a line you can take. Let's look at what we have to decide today. If we continue based on the late Kanzo Makishimashi's decisions... Hey, hold on. Why are you taking the lead? I don't mind it if the eldest, Yamawaki-san, wants to take over. I'm no good at that. In that case, it's only natural that myself and Muro, adults confirmed to be human, should be the one to lead. You are acting so sus right now, dude. Takumi, he's really annoying. You lead. No. Kyo, keep going. He's still shocked from the elder's death. No need to force him. Bro, that's a play in this village. That's a play and a half, dude. That's a play and a half. These two are the wolves. He kills this guy. He checks him. And then you just get to lead the whole council for the foreseeable future. You get one free hanging. You get another kill in the night. And you can probably still play it off. Like, you could even... Then again, the person who's actually the snake would know that they're the snake. And would actually call it out. So, maybe that's not as good of a play as I initially intended. But I will do everything I can in his place. Muro, please console Madame Uribe. My boy. He, Kaoru-san. Here's my proposal. Let's do whatever we can to choose and hang someone today. Haha, glorious. Hold on. That is too reckless. But it's necessary. If we don't, the wolves will eventually kill all the humans. Exactly. We have to harden our hearts if we want to survive the feast. Am I wrong, Yamawaki-san? You're right. The Yomibito must be hung. But then they have to try to figure out who the real snake is. It's a 50-50. Yeah, but I think doing it turn 1 is not the play. I think it's a play you can take, but don't do it turn 1. Oh, he's singing the song. 1 soul per day, now to bind. But what if we make a mistake? Even if we kept it secret, we'd have to live with the guilt of having killed someone. It's true, it would be unpleasant, but such deaths wouldn't be in vain. What the hell? If we kill the wrong person, their death would be pointless. That's obvious. Watch your words when talking to your superiors. Listen, for now, we only have 2 surefire ways to get rid of suspects. Surely you understand, Yasunaga-kun? Yes. The snake's power? Or killing someone to lower the total number, huh? I know that, but do you really think we can all agree on someone? We can't do that. Do you think the one who gets killed cares which side wins? That's why we need to reach a consensus here. We need to agree that if the others survive, I don't mind dying. Huh? Is that seriously all we have? Yes, that's all we have. The laws of the mountain remain merciless. Is Mochi gender fluid or just quirky? Just quirky. He doesn't have clothes of his own, so he like borrows clothes and he likes wearing like girls' clothes. What the hell? I'm not just getting hanged for someone else's sake. Oh, well, that would make you a wolf then, wouldn't it? No. You have no intention to put your life on the line for Yasumizu, and that makes you Yasumizu's enemy. Is that what you're saying? Bro, that's aggressive as hell. Uribe is being really aggressive. Am I wrong? People of Yasumizu, this is a test of our unity. You sure do seem to be enjoying yourself. I'm only giving advice as someone from Kami Fujiyoshi, and one whose suspicions were lifted. Be silent. Kyonosuke no Sato-san, you were quiet about this until the snake looked into you, right? What exactly are you getting at? You already knew we had to be unified and accept death if it was necessary, didn't you? But you also knew that saying that would have made the snake's power way more popular, so you stayed quiet. They always make one of the innocent characters so incredibly hateable. Yes, like I knew this guy was clean as soon as he started talking in his intro. That's just an assumption. She's right. A Kami Fujiyoshi guy who's no longer a suspect is telling us to die and be okay with it? As if we can just accept that? It's in Danganronpa too. I have that as well. I was thinking of playing that at some point as well. Takumi, say something. But he is right. Takumi-ni? I agree with him as well. Suspect me, hang me. Whatever your decision is, I will accept it. Rikako-san. As I said before, in this situation, Kami Fujiyoshi and Yasumizu are irrelevant. Not to mention, I know it might be impudent of me, but I believe myself to be a part of Yasumizu. Oh, look at that, a respectable attitude. Something a certain someone here doesn't have. However, I do think that expecting that of this girl would be a bit much. Mina kawaii. But we have no choice. There can be no exceptions. And if you decide to hang her, I shall go with her. Brother? What? You mustn't. We only need the blood of one per day. I just have to die of my own volition. The corruption comes only for the sinner. And if I'm already dead, then it no longer matters. Why would she say that? I had a hunch she was a human on the side of the wolves. Some kind of like priestess acting with the wolves, which is very possible. But like, why would she say that? I don't know. I want to get all the info before I start making predictions. But you're being a pain, Kyo. If you're gonna lead, do it right. And Uematsu. Yes. Think about what you're saying. Sorry, but you're ahead of Kami Fujiyoshi, one of our oppressors. Takumi, don't be rude to the oppressor. See? You people are the reason why Bachan got so scared. Don't act like you're one of us. My sincerest apologies. And why are you in Yasumizu anyway? Honestly, I'm inclined to just start leveling accusations at this point. Takumi-ni, are you saying all of this is Kami Fujiyoshi's doing? Who knows? Maybe not all of it, but their efforts to keep us here show that something is up, don't they? At the very least, I really believe some guys can think the feast is an old wives' tale, and that the wolves really are, and that the wolves are really on the human side. They know that the people of Yasumizu would die if the mist came. They deprive us of not only our prosperity, but even our lives. Slander! I won't say that Kami Fujiyoshi is a group of saints, but there are resourceful and dignified people. Not to mention sensible. It's the age where science reigns supreme. Of course they don't believe in some old superstition. Isn't that the reason why? What do you mean? They didn't tell you all the secrets They didn't tell you all the secrets Fujiyoshi had to offer. That's because your only value to their family is your belief that the family heads are upstanding people, and that you don't shut up about it. Huh? Isn't that why they forced you to stay in the Nosato mansion when you returned? Despite all the danger here in Yasumizu? Well, now you're crossing the line. Are you saying my family abandoned me? That seems plausible. You're just like Yasun and I. The heads are cruel. Those who lose a struggle for power, those deemed incapable, or simply those who dislike the ones in charge, can simply just be sent here. Our situation is one thing, but Mom, she came here all the way from Tohoku, and married the Higuchi family, but got thrown out the moment Dad died. I didn't care about that. Mom, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was fine as I had Yoshitsugu and you, Yasunaga. Anyway, there's no doubt that they twisted their fates. Our fates. I agree with Takumi-ni on that. Too bad you're stuck here. Too bad you're stuck here too, huh? I'm not blaming Yasumizu's people. What's gotten into you? We're all gonna die anyway. Oji-chan was acting all tough, but even he died so easily. I can't take this. Why didn't you just leave me there? Huh? You weren't like this back then. What's wrong? I've just had enough. How sad. What's wrong? When wolves come, everyone becomes demons. That they do. That's why we need to hang the Yomibito. Oh, what a mess. Whatever. At least we know that Kami Fujiyoshi's people won't come and save us. Yeah, the road was blocked. That's one reason. Anyway, I do think we should trust Kyu now. My reasons are the same as Chiemi's. Oh dear, how sad. Think what you want. Anyway, we have to hang someone. Uematsu is the easiest target. Keep acting like that, and you'll be dead in no time. What else could I... Just be honest and tell us what you know. Keeping quiet is the worst, and letting others take care of it won't do. Right, Kyo? Why don't you just take control of the feast then, Muto? I just tried acting like the old man. That ain't me. I'll leave the rest up to you. I don't have much left to say. Let's just hold a vote and hang whoever ends up being picked. Okay, chat. I'm gonna use the restroom really quickly. Like 5 minutes. So just give me a second, and then we will see if the monkey reveals themselves and if the vote comes out. But let me just be right back. 5 minutes. I'll put some music on in the meantime. I just really, I've been drinking a lot of water because of the voice work. I just really have to go to the bathroom. So I'll just put a little music on. Be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you for your patience. Eee. Okay. So, are they going to vote? And I guess if they were to vote here, I don't think there's a good vote here right now. If they were going to vote. Oh, so they have to hang every round? No, they don't have to. But if they don't, they will lose another one. Like, it's not like Among Us where you could like see somebody do something and call an emergency meeting. The only chance you have to out an imposter is right now. So you would be giving the wolves a free kill if you skipped vote here. So the only people who have been acting suspicious, honestly, are Nasato. Haru's acting a little weird, but like trying to run away means she's probably not a wolf. Nobody else really has any info. I mean, they would probably be hanging her. If I had to pick somebody based on current information, I hate to say it, but I would just hang the old man who cried wolf. Only because he's kind of useless. Like, he's, like, you know what I mean? It's like, he's kind of the one who contributes the least to the group, and he's kind of a death's door anyways. But I know that's bad, but that is who I would probably do. I think that's the most merciful hanging, because you still really have no strategy to go off of. In every game, oh, hold on. So this is a little meta, but like in these kinds of games, the character that everyone thinks did it round one is always innocent. Yeah, I think that's always the case. I mean, just so there's a story. Because this is a pre-thought out thing, right? There's no opportunity for somebody to like slip up and like they would in a real game of Werewolf or Mafia or whatever. I'm telling you, that's too reckless. Of course, you're free to argue your case, especially if you can prove that you're more valuable alive. However, I don't want to hear any "I'm human" or "I don't want to die" non-arguments. Everyone would say that. The chosen one gives up and gives his life, leaving the fate of Yasumizu to the rest of us. We'll hang at the hanging pine? That should do the job. How do we vote? We'll start with the elders. You can have brief interviews, too. When the voter decides, I'll record it in my notepad. Huh? It's not anonymous. No way. We'll basically be telling people to die straight to their faces. I've had enough of Serizawa's nitpicking. I'm starting. So, what's your name? That's the old guy. The old man who cried wolf. He's been old when I was still young. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? Which one of us do you think is the wolf? Wait, me? Why? Wolf. Scary. Kawaii kawaii. One vote for Bro, no. Hold on. Are we seriously deciding who to kill like this? We have no choice. He's a participant too. We can't deny his right to vote, can we? Takumi, say something. Yasunaga, what do you think? I'll wait and see. Me too. Wait, are you really? So now it's me. I think I will vote for Chi-chan too. Bro, if Chie dies here, I am fucking scooping. I am quitting this game. Why? Taiba-chan? I'm sorry. I just don't know. But it's strange how you're so mad about everything here. Yeah, it's 2 votes. It's 2 votes immediately for Chie. If the others survive, I don't mind dying. Oh, I hear that, but I won't agree. Yasumizu's people are important to me, but so is my life. Not to mention, I know I'm not a wolf, so I'm not just gonna roll over and die. Sure, I'll follow the rules. If I keep this up, I'll just get killed. Not to mention, we don't have any better options. Here, Taiba-chan, I've calmed down. Can you change your vote? Should I? You know what? Fine. It was my own fault for acting weird. Are you done? Muro, it's your turn. I'm voting for Mako. Oh, bro! Just killing the little girl? I mean, it follows the old man logic too, but how you gonna try to hang like a 5-year-old? Takumi! You. Do I even need to give a reason? I know she's a kid, but we basically know nothing about her. It's just way too weird. Dude, this whole town sucks. They're living in, oh, I forgot the name of the town, damn it. I don't know how true the legends are, but if something fishy comes from Saranaga, it's only fair to think she's fishy too. Takumi-ni. If that was how it worked, what would be the point of this bothersome feast? I don't think we should decide based on that either. Even if she didn't come from Saranaga, we still don't know who or what she is. Think about it this way. What if she is a wolf? This guy's brick, like, brick-headed. If we all just ignored her because she's just a kid, she'd kill us all. Do you get that? Bro, that's literally the game. You can't, like, all of them. That applies to all of them. Looks like you're thinking too, Muro. Next, Madame Oribe. Haru Makishima. Oh, Mom. Why me? Why not? Tell me that then. Why did you try to run away today? You were feeling guilty over killing your own grandfather and Yoshitsugu, weren't you? No, that's not it. Well then why? Because I'm scared. I don't want to stay here. Lies. Whoa, Karui-san, stop. His death hurt all of us. Even me. And Haru. All of us hurt. Sad eyes. Oribe-san, what will you do with your vote? Haru Makishima it is. Well, I'm next, and I'm voting for the nameless old man. Let's go. Let's go, Chad. That's how you do it. Vote for the vote for the chaff. Huh? What? But why? That last exchange made me realize he's not rational. We don't need someone like that around. That's so unfair. He regularly said that the wolves were coming, even before all this happened. That's more than enough to find him suspicious. Still unfair? I think he's either completely insane, or secretly he knows something. Have you ever considered that there were feasts before this one? He should have been around for at least one. But I haven't. And I'm over 70. But he could have. He's older than you, after all. He could know something, but might be unable to say it because he's senile, or might be hiding it out of malice. With this vote, I might be able to get some info out of him, and if not, he's worthless. Worthless. Is it truly right to hang people based on whether they have worth at that particular moment? That's something a wolf might say to protect the other wolf. You say that, but if we continue, we will make more progress tomorrow. What do you mean? Today, Muro will use his power to investigate someone. We'll know the truth about another person. The spider will once again protect Muro. By repeating this, it'll only take 3 times to know who's a wolf and who's not, even if we guess wrong. Yikes, that is utilitarian. In one day, we'll hang someone will get killed by the wolves, and the snake will reveal another person. We'll find out about 3 people in one day, and since all the 11 besides Takumi, Nichan, and Nasota-san are unknown, it'll take 3 or 4 times? Exactly. We'll only have to hang 3 people at most. With that in mind, if you don't want to hang those close to you, you should start with those that aren't. It's for the good of Yoshimizu. Now listen here. I'm arguing to maximize the happiness of the majority, Muro. This guy sucks. Nasata-san, are you serious? What? Chiene's math only works out if the wolves only kill people that the snake hasn't checked. What if they only went after those whose identities were already confirmed? For example, what if they went after you tonight? Madge. I don't think I can agree with voting based on such a flawed conclusion. Don't you think you're being too easy on the idea of killing your own? No. I haven't said anything about killing my own. I'd never say that. But... oh, brother. Well, there were some mistakes there, but we're already voting. I'm leaving your decisions to you. Next up is Rikako Uematsu-san, right? Going by seating order, I'm next. How troubling. I don't have enough info to go on. Why are you so calm? I'll make a mistake otherwise. That's why you and Mom should calm down. Please. Hold on, Yasukun. Sorry to cut you off, but I just had an idea. What? Can the monkeys reveal themselves? Why would they? Yasunaga-kun and Sir Makishima said it'd be best if they didn't present themselves. Well, I was thinking the same thing at first, but what's the point of the monkeys then? They just know who the other monkey is, right? It's not like they get any new info later. That's true. The only use I can think of is for them to catch fake snakes. Oh, so like if the snake claims someone is werewolf, but they're the monkey, the other monkey can save them. But they can confirm who the other monkey is. So they can be confirmed as non-wolves just as easily as being investigated by the snake, right? But what if they lie? Lying would be too risky. And yeah, why would they lie? For example, I'm not a monkey, but if I went, "Hello, I'm a monkey," what would you do? I'd say, "Tell me who the other one is." Exactly, but I couldn't, because I'd be lying. Now, for example, if I said, "All right, it's Mochi," then... well, how do you know? Don't joke around. Well, I can't prove it, can I? Oh, so Mochi is... I mean, it made sense that Mochi was the monkey. He knew more than he was letting on. I see, but what if he played along because he thought being a monkey would make him safe? Then the real monkeys would call him out, and we'd hang all 4, one after another, to be sure. That's... the rule of thumb is that only wolves would try to lie to survive, so that's the right thing to do, isn't it, Nosato-san? Yeah, that is the Amoga strat for sure. Just hang the liars until you've caught the imposter. Yep, 50-50. Yeah, you just take the 50-50. That's true. Once you clarify that's what would happen, you shouldn't get anyone pretending to be a monkey. I see. It's too dangerous for both humans and wolves. It's just not worth it. In Before the Old Man, I thought Mochi and the Old Man were the monkeys. Mostly because of aesthetic, but that was like my first thought. Does everyone understand? Looks like it. Then please, name yourself. We'll lose 2 suspects. Right here. What is it, Mochi? I'm saying that I'm a monkey. You're not just dragging out the joke? Yes, yep. I am a monkey. So, like we agreed, who's the other monkey? Meiko-chan! Oh! Meiko-chan, is that true? No, bro. When you woke up, was there something on your stomach? There was. A monkey. Among Us. She knows the symbols? I taught them to her, alongside the prayer to Shinai. We have any other monkeys who want to reveal themselves? No, doesn't look like it. That confirms it. I see. So they really are monkeys. Crap. I wasted my vote trying to murder a 5-year-old. I think he should be given a do-over. You want to bend the rules? Why is this guy so adamant against logical plays here? Like, you don't want to vote for a human. That's weird. It's best to make it impossible to retract votes. We'd have too many people trying to change their vote at the last minute. Yeah, but like, this is like... Bro, this is like common sense, dude. No, I'm pissed. This is where I would start screaming in Among Us. Like, I would actually peek my microphone, screaming right now, making sure that Muro could redo his vote, because it is nonsense. Yeah, like, hello? Like, come on. I'm pissed. Sorry about interrupting. Back to Yasukun. I'll vote for the old wolf man. My reason is that I think staying silent and doing nothing indirectly helps the wolves. I'm next. 1,000,000 votes to Taiba. Get her ass. What? 1 vote each, please. Then 1 vote for Taiba. I find it weird how she just voted for Chie out of nowhere. So that's an interesting one, right? Where like, let me just talk about this at the end of the feast. I gotta make sure I remember everything, but there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about here. What? I'll talk about it in voting order, I guess, is what I'll do. Wow, what are you saying, boy? That's why you youngins are such good for nothings. Yeah, Mochi's smart. I'm next. All right. 1 vote for the old guy. Get his ass out of here. In before the old guy's the spider. Dude, what if the old guy's the spider? Taiba taking the senility strat. So even you went for him. Shut up. My reason is that I don't have any better ideas. That's it. Haru-chan's turn. That's how you get voted out ASAP in my fucking game? Yeah, yeah. I'll vote for Uematsu-san. You had to be the one who brought the corruption. No, I'm only here to fulfill my role. Then just do that and take in the corruption. You're not doing that because you're a wolf, aren't you? Yeah, voting old man saves Chie, which would make sense for Oribe to do. I cannot disagree. I'm powerless. You don't have to humble yourself before these people, my lady. It's your turn. The person who voted for you must be suspicious. Listen to this guy. I will vote for Oribe-san. Ooh. You? I do not find him suspicious, but I just had a thought. Oh, come on, bro. Amateur hour. There would be no worse possible occurrence than for him to be a wolf. I did say a lot. I can't blame you for thinking I'm just tricking people. Why is the shitty guy? Because she's like a royal of the high village. Like, there's 2 villages. This is like the valley, and she came up from the hill, like the high village. So she's like royalty. So he's a simp for her. He wants to get his status like secured in like the bourgeoisie. But I don't think I said anything wrong, at least. I didn't intend to. I don't mind if you vote for me. I believe that the votes to express your outlook are important now as well. The old wolf man is at the top with 3 votes. You there, child. You're the last one. Meiko, do you understand? Yes, this is real death. They will actually hang the person. I need to choose the wolf. Yes. Her. Oh, brother. It's a tied vote. Me? What? Seriously? You're scary. I'm scared of you too. We need a final vote. The 9 people besides Chieme and the old wolfman will vote for one of these 2. The wolf is coming. Okay. The results are in. Old wolfman 7 votes. Chieme 2 votes. Okay. Do we know who those 2 were? Okay, yeah. Wait, everyone besides Taiba and Meko-chan voted for the old wolf guy. Even the old wolf guy voted for the old wolf guy? Oh, no. Everyone but those 2 got to vote. Okay, that makes sense. So, basically, everybody who wasn't voting Chie switched to the old man. Shut up. Are you ready, sir? Okay, so the voting's done. Let me talk about what I'm thinking here. Old Man Who Cried Wolf is literally just crazy. I think he's town, and I think he's just crazy. But I think nothing of value is lost with him dying. I think he's, like, the safest vote as far as utility goes. That said, he's also not someone trying to manipulate anyone. So he is, I mean, he gets a vote, which is scary, right? Like, you don't want him just voting randomly because he's not voting for the best interest of the group, but I do think he's town. I have heavy suspicion on Grandma, and here's why. The first vote can be ignored, right? Basically, it's trash. It means nothing. But she snap jumped on that vote. And to me, that signals that she knows who the humans are and who the wolves are, right? She's a wolf. I think she's a wolf. And she knows who the wolf is, or the wolves are. And because there was a vote for someone that was, like, there was already a vote out there, right? Because the fact that prior information is important too. She knows that the vote is out there. That puts better odds of killing a human. And she's a powerful human that got voted for too. That's just a bonus. But I think even if the old man had said, like, who's useless here? Like, before we knew that the kid was a monkey, if the old man had said the monkey, or had said the girl, I think she would have said the girl too. I think she would have just snap voted for whoever the first person voted to. Did it ever say that the 2 wolves know each other? That's a good point. Traditionally, they do. Traditionally, imposters or mafia or werewolves know each other, but I don't know if they ever stated that. I'm pretty sure they know. So I think Tai, for that reason, I have sus on Tai. It's hard, I think, to attribute normal play patterns to this kind of game. I know it's really all we can currently speculate with, but yeah. Yeah, no, but, like, it makes sense. I think Muto is the snake. We know that. Kaori, I got no info on. She voted for Haru, though, because Haru tried to run, was her logic. Honestly, I think she's just very emotional right now, though, because, again, yeah, like you said, we can't really attribute normal game policy. Yeah, jumping on a turn 1 vote is hella sus. But I kind of think it is, but yeah, I don't know. It makes enough sense here. This guy we know is safe because of the snake thing. This guy, hard to say. He's suspicious, but, like, he hasn't done anything explicitly suspicious. I don't remember who he voted for. Did he vote for the old man? Yeah, he voted for the old man, right? So that makes sense. The old man vote makes sense. Mochi we know is a monkey. Chie hasn't done anything suspicious. She asked the monkeys to reveal themselves, which is in the town's favor. So she's probably... I don't think the wolf would ask the monkey to reveal themselves. What are the roles? Oh, good question. I'll go over them in a second. Her, hard to say with her too. She voted for this girl, which was kind of weird. My only thought there is she thinks she might act irrationally because her son died. And then Haru voted for the old man, and then she voted for her because she's scary. But I don't know what that means. Okay, so the roles. There's town, snake, monkey, wolf, spider, and crow. Town is town. It's literally vanilla. Wolf is mafia / imposter. Snake, once per day, can divine the identity of another individual. Now, all we know is that it can divine if they're town or if they're wolf. I don't know if, like, divining the crow would tell you that they are the crow. It might just tell you that they're town. But that's what the snake does. And it happens during the night. So the morning after, the snake gets the info. Yeah, they're like Seer. The monkeys know who each other are. So they're like Percival and Merlin from Avalon. Well, Merlin actually knows everyone. So either way, they're like... that's lovers. Okay, yeah. So that's what the monkeys are. And then the crow... When you hang someone, the crow learns if they were town or wolf. So the crow knows if who was killed was town or wolf. Which to me doesn't seem terribly useful outside of peace of mind factor. Like, you can play it better. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mention the spider. The spider is the medic. The spider protects one person every night. But because Muro admitted to being the snake, the spider is kind of hung up on protecting Muro every night, even though I would next level it and never protect Muro as the medic / spider, because what wolf in their right mind is going to go for the person who's being claimed to be protected every night? Okay, old man's dying. We all decided this. Every one of us is equally guilty. Get ready, old man. 2 wolves, yes. There are 2 wolves. Apparently there are 2 wolves. And they have to agree on the kill. As far as I know, they do, yeah. They do not get 2 kills. They get 1 kill. Yeah. Old man, do you understand? I need time. Huh? I need to clean up. You want to take care of your belongings? That's fair. I believe we can allow that much. What if he's planning on escaping? Haru-chan. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on him. Go ahead and do that. As soon as he returns, we take him to the Saranaga. Rikako-san, where's the rope? Right here. Morbid. It's already evening. As I whiled away the time with some fruitless contemplation, I hear noises outside that brought me back to reality. People were shouting loudly. What's wrong? I opened the window and shouted. It was facing the cliff, so I couldn't shout to the settlement directly. They probably didn't hear me, since I didn't get a response. What happened? So I shouted even louder. Fusaishi, stay right where the fuck you are. Huh? Was I about to get punched? What happened? I can only repeat myself. It's dangerous right now. Oh, shit's going down. It was? What do you mean? I didn't get a reply this time. I only heard several verses clamoring. This is a jam, too. Then I heard someone hurry up the dorm stairs. Who's there? I got no response again. What was happening? Someone was definitely close. It just made me more tense. Ah, Haruaki-san. Wow, Chieme yet again. What a twist. No. I don't want Mochi to die. What's that supposed to mean? Sorry, but you should have stayed right there. This might be really bad. Her voice was cut off by a scream, though it was more like intense cursing. This was Takumi-san's voice. No doubt about it. Chiemi left without saying another word. Huh? Hold on. Open up. I fought the door, but it showed no signs of opening. I can help, damn it. Shit. Like hell I was gonna stay out of the loop any longer. Turning around, I went to the open window and decided to try jumping out. I'm jumping. Though I was on the 2nd floor, it wasn't too high of a drop. I like to it might make my legs a little numb, so what? I jumped out the window without any hesitation. I properly bent my knees so I didn't hurt myself at all, because I'm a god. Then I ran to the settlement where I'd heard the voices from. I quickly understood the cause of Takumi-san's shouting. There were cries of despair. The reason was somewhere downhill, along the way to the graveyard. It was a small grove of low trees and a carpet of loaf mold below. It wouldn't have been hard to see, even if there was no mist. You could hear running water nearby. I couldn't see where it was coming from, but it was probably the irrigation channel for the paddy fields. There was a small crowd gathered. I peeked through a space between them. There were bodies. 2 of them. One was of an old man, the other... No! No, man! No! Though their appearances were vastly different, each was in a similar state. They lay on the ground with their hands over their stomach, utterly still and covered in blood. I liked Mochi too. These were the corpses of the old man who cried wolf and Chikamochi Kamoshida. Sag. Why? What happened? Fusoshi, aren't you in the dorm? I was, until now. Bullshit! You're the one who did this, aren't you? Huh? No, I'm not. I just came out of the dorm. I even talked to Chieme-chan. Yeah, it's not Haruaki-san, Takumi. Then who did this? Forget that. We need to treat. There's no point. Don't touch them. We might still make it. They've lost all their blood. Their stomachs are open and their guts are all over. What kind of treatment can bring them back, huh? You know one? Come on, say it then. There was nothing I could say in response. There were 5 of us on the scene. Chieme, Takumi, me, as well as Oribe, who was vomiting in a nearby bush, and Rikaku, who was watching the remains from a distance. Most were proactive, and I couldn't see why they were here, but Rikaku felt a bit out of place. Then I remembered that we were already pretty short-handed. What happened? Who did this? Damn it. Look here. She pointed to the old guy's clothes. There were gatherings of fur all over his garment. A werewolf. If that was the culprit, then this was the work of the corruption. What was that he was saying? She was saying? No, this was completely different from how the others had died. The fur proved little. Let me see the wound. I told you, don't touch it. But this is completely different. Quit acting like you know shit. You'll never find out anything. But if we stop trying to look, we won't understand anything at all. So wolves broke the rules? Someone broke the rules. Maybe the old man was a wolf. And, like, just wanted to take Mochi with him on the way down, and then he got taken by the corruption. Quit the act, outsider. Takumi-ni-chan, calm down. Shut up. Everything went to hell when he got here. If he didn't come, none of this. Well, maybe killed Mochi and died for breaking the rules. Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm getting hung. Let me just go for one more on the way out. Which would really mean it's screwed for the wolves in that case. If the old man was a wolf, he should have died before the night started. No. This happened before they hung the old man. This happened like while the old man was going to collect his belongings. Yeah, one wolf left, it would be done, dude. So there might be more to it than that. It felt like he was about to grab me. I could clearly see the intense emotion whirling in his eyes. I thought I could get him to trust me, but now it's back to square one. Then there shouldn't be any fur? Yeah, wait. So, if a wolf killed both of them in that case, the wolf broke the rules. I don't fully understand the significance of the fur yet. The fur was on the body of the punk kid, and they said the corruption got him because he was outside. The old man whose head got smashed in, they said was killed by wolves. So I don't actually know. Seems like these two were killed by the corruption. Yasunaga Oribe calmed down a bit and faced the remains of his dear friend. His voice was shaking. The expression on the corpse was eerily pale and emotionless. Even a look of agony was absent. Is there any chance of another roll? Not according to the lore, but this game might be hiding. Like, all it is folklore that's been passed down through the ages, so there might be more to it. The wolf was only meant to come out at night. This is before the hanging, so there shouldn't be a wolf. There shouldn't be fur. Like a sheriff roll that can kill his town but dies if they fuck up. Yeah, right? Like, there might be. Again, it's all just folklore that's been passed down. It almost looked like he was smiling. Did his face muscles simply go limp? This isn't the corruption. How do you know? I'll prove it if you can let me pass. He glared at me with immense hatred before letting me through. Look away if you can't stomach this kind of thing. I walked up to the old guy's corpse. He looked as distant as always, but a lack of blood flowing in his face simply made his appearance even more creepy. I avoided looking at it while I grabbed his back and rolled him onto it. With a wet sound, entrails spilled from the wound in his stomach. Horrid. Don't force yourself, people. Except you, Takumi. You gotta look. What's up? What's up? How's it going? It's going good. Some stuff is happening, indeed. The stomach was clearly torn open by a blade. I think he killed himself. This isn't some kind of supernatural punishment. This was caused by a person wielding a weapon. And since there's no weapon nearby, it means that someone intentionally removed it from the scene. Oh yeah, that's true. No, see, I thought seppuku too, but he's saying... Yeah, right? Like, I thought the same thing. Like, oh, I'm out of here. So Yasumizu is someone who's both armed and capable of acting like this. Please give me the detail. What happened during the feast? What led you to this? I wonder... Could it be... what's his name? Glasses guy. The worst shit ever. Is he killing people? With several people here to tell me, I ended up with a decent grasp of how today's feast went. Kyonosuke had suggested they choose who to kill by vote. The wolf guy and Chieme ended up the same amount of votes, resulting in a tiebreaker. Most ended up voting for the wolf guy, sentencing him to death. Also, worth noting, it doesn't necessarily say anywhere in the rules that townies can't kill each other. Like, if a townie kills another townie, I don't think the corruption comes for them. I think they just can. He said he'd wanted to take care of some things, so he and Chikamochi Kamoshida went out, while the rest stayed where they were. I'm so sad Mochi's dead. Were they really the only ones who left? I don't have to do his voice anymore, at least. Not that I do a good job with any of these voices, but some are more painful. So question, are you a wolf boy or a fox boy? I am a fox boy. I'm not a wolf. I need to be protected from the wolves. Were they really the only ones who left? These are definitely fox ears. Then understandable why you'd want protection from the wolves. Yeah. Yeah, the feast was still going on at that point. Them leaving was an exception. So we ain't brothers. No. Unfortunately. I thought I was a wolf at first too, but and then my tail as well. If you look at my tail, that's definitely a fox tail. You expected them to come back and resume the feast. Why would you have done then? What would you have done then? That isn't something we can tell an outsider. Yeah, I've had this for a while. It's hard to see because it's gray on blue, but yeah. I gotta change my hotkeys when I play this game. That isn't something we can tell an outsider. All right, but anyway, they didn't come back. How long did you wait for them? Because my body's in the way. Yeah, true. No more than an hour. We started to worry and went out to search, and found them in less than 10 minutes. So, wait. Wait, they all waited around? That means... Wait, that's weird. The five in the hall, Nosato, Kaori, Meiko, Haru, and Tai, simply couldn't be responsible. Yeah, because they were all together. So is there another person in the town? So someone killed the two, changed into clean clothing, and came back to pretend to keep searching? That's impossible. Did you see each other while searching? No. We split up to cover more ground. Are you Haruaki? Yes, I am Haruaki. Like, the narrator text is Haruaki's POV. Let's return to the hall. We then went to the hall. Kyunosuke kept watch and confirmed that no one besides the victims and the search party had left the building. That limited the potential murderers to the search party and I. What's his story? He's a college graduate who broke up with his girlfriend, rode out into the middle of the woods on a motorcycle, and crashed and ended up here. And now he's like subject to this town's rules because he has no way out because of this mist and shit. He's really good with forensics and like criminology. They didn't explicitly say he studied that, but he's kind of demonstrated it over time. Yeah. And I also think he killed his girlfriend. He didn't break up with his girlfriend, but that's a little headcanon-y. I asserted that I was still in the room when it all happened, and they believed me for now. Though Takumi-san continued to suspect that I used some sort of trick to escape and commit the murders. Well, that was fair, considering everyone else was with them. But I knew I wasn't the culprit. So, who was in the search party? Chiemi, Rikako, Takumi, and Oribe. So one of those four did it. They died right after they left the hall. Then someone removed the weapon. Why kill both? Yeah, like, what's the motive? And you're still the only one who could have done it. I'm telling you, I heard him in his room. Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'll say it as much as I have to. I'm innocent, and since I am, someone else had to be responsible for their deaths. Unless the old man killed himself, killed Mochi, someone came across the weapon, picked it up, and is lying. If somebody just found the weapon. Finally done running the Grand Blue bracket. Good stuff there, Koyo. It's kind of easy, but like you got to pay attention to it. And then when connection issues come up, it gets even harder. The other had already outed the monkey, so their role was over. Yeah. I see you're avoiding using the word murder. Shut up. You notice? I am. As it stands, this could be suicide, death by illness or poison, followed by desecration of the corpses and removal of the weapon. How would doing something like that benefit us? If you ask me, things became much simpler if we assume you and Serizawa were partners in crime. Don't you think? I don't know, but doing that wouldn't benefit me either. Really? Tell me, is there any proof you didn't know each other before this? Huh? We didn't, obviously, but what does that have to do with anything? The people here believe an eerie legend. You could have come here to take advantage of that and pretend to be monsters to murder them for your enjoyment. Literally Scooby-Dooing us. This man is literally Scooby-Dooing us. Please stop. There are some lines you shouldn't cross. And that is the Hanna-Barbera line, of course. Stop this, all of you. Tayama Waki-san walked out of the hall. I could see Haru Makishima, Meiko, and Kaori Oribe behind her. That made a total of 10 survivors. 9 if you excluded me, who I hadn't participated in the feast. Whoever killed Mochi and the Elder, they went against the laws. Hello? It's simpler to say you killed everyone and are also both wolves, so let's kill you and be done. Right? Like, yeah, that was his plan. His plan was to Amogus it, to find suspicious people and just pop them one by one until the wolves are gone. Shinai-sama will subject them to the corruption. Yeah, okay, good. They broke the rules, right? She prayed and faced the peak of Mount Sinai at the opposite side of the Saranaga. Strangely enough, that was enough for everyone to fall silent. Rikako Uematsu joined in, and Meiko copied her. This was the settlement's way of solving things. They gave up on Discord and just left it all in the hands of a higher power. Yeesh. Bachan, what do we do now? One has already spilled blood for the day. The elder has died. Let's end the feast for the day and clean up. I absolutely feel I seriously feel like Muro and Jerkface are wolves. Yeah, but wouldn't the real snake have outed Muro if he was lying? Unless the real snake... What if the old man was the snake? The wolves wouldn't know that. But if the old man were the snake, he would have no shot at explaining himself. And, like, not that they would want to kill him first, but, like, it would just be getting lucky. And, you know, you just make that same play. You're the snake. No other snake outed themselves. So, ooh, that's a neat gambit, right? If there's actual children and, like, mentally unstable people in the group, take notes for the next time you're playing Among Us. Say that you're the snake, or whatever the equivalent is, the first time. Yeah, what if the young guy was the snake? He doesn't know if he saw the crest. Which young guy? Oh, the one that they killed night one. True! If you kill the snake, yeah, but like they wouldn't know he's the snake. But you take the out, you take the 50-50, you go, I'm the snake, and I'm gonna check out the other wolf, and I'm gonna claim that they're town. And then you have two options. One person is mentally unstable or doesn't understand that they're the snake, and you get freebie. Or someone else claims that they're the snake, and then you just gaslight and scream. Right? Then you're just like, you're lying, and then you just make it about getting rid of the fake snake or whatever. I was thinking, what if Mochi was the snake? But he would have outed the two. Yeah, and Mochi was monkey too. You can't have two roles. That was confirmed, I think. Oh, man, I love talking about this shit. You just sit still. The situation was only getting worse. Oh shit, my weekend plans just cleared up. That means more streaming. What if Mochi was lying and divined Meiko's role, but he had no reason to do that? Yeah, and also, like, then you're banking that just one of the dead people is a monkey, too. Yeah. Soon after that, it was time to shelter, so everybody retreated to their houses. Takumi-san entered my room and boarded my window completely shut. Okay, cool, bro. Nice Home Depot flex. Well, the little girl didn't confirm Mochi, but the fact that he guessed it was kind of dumb. No, I trust that they're the monkeys. Or Mochi's a wolf. But no, he can't be because he's dead. If you're not the culprit, something's going to happen even if you are locked in. Yeah, Meiko didn't confirm Mochi. But then wouldn't the other monkey speak up? I think the monkey play is legit. Unless Chieme is... What if Chieme is a monkey? Oh my god, if Chieme is a monkey, she knows who the other one is and would even know it's the little girl. So then, but again, with Mochi being dead, that's a non-issue. That's a non-issue. Ignore me. His words were harsh, but there was a hint of composure. This game is sick. He might have actually believed I wasn't the one who did it, or maybe he found peace in the idea that the mountain would punish the culprit. Well, no, if you're a monkey and you bring that up and multiple people start claiming it as a means to lie, then you get sus on them, right? Because then you know which one's telling the truth. It's actually in the monkey's best interest to make the monkey play, even though that makes you look hella suspicious afterwards. I don't know. And you got to do it like night 1 or night 2 before people start dying, because then it would be like, well, someone who's dead was the monkey and you're lying. Was the wolf guy a wolf? I had no idea whether that was plausible. Assuming he wasn't, 2 of the remaining 9 were wolves, with Kyonosuke Shi being a confirmed human, Takumi-san being the snake, Meiko being a monkey. There were 6 suspects. Thanks to my advice, Chiemi suggested the monkeys reveal themselves, and they turned out to be Mochi and Meiko. Though Mochi had just died, that was a heavy blow. Him being a confirmed non-wolf was one reason, but more than that, he was... Wait. They didn't hang anyone. The crow gets no information. Oh, fuck. The crow gets no information because they killed them outside of the ritualistic way. So we have no way to know if the old man was human or not. Him being a confirmed non-wolf was one reason, but more because, like, maybe one of the wolves just killed the old man. Yeah, one of the wolves might kill the old man. If the old man was a wolf and the other wolf kills him to prevent him from being outed as a wolf by the crow, that play makes sense if you don't get punished for it. Because maybe the wolves just aren't allowed to kill humans during the day. And so he got the old man, who is a wolf, to do it because he's dead anyways. And then he killed the old man, whoever the other wolf is. He or she, I should say. Whoever the other wolf is. That might, I'm pointing at my screen right now. You can't really see, but that might be what happened. Or the man killed Mochi and himself and the other wolf took the knife. Right, yeah, exactly. Like, just so it wouldn't be proven that the old man was a wolf. He was somewhat an oddity compared to the rest of the people here, but I did find him to be a fun guy. I'd like to get back at whatever injustice had stolen his life. Clearing my head, I resumed thinking. If nothing happens tonight, the rules are... Then that might be the case. Yeah, if nothing happens tonight, that's probably the case. Yeah. Since she was acting suspicious today, Takumi-san would investigate Haru-chan. Tomorrow, we'd only have 5 suspects. That'd give them decent chances of picking out the 2 wolves. It seemed to me like it wouldn't be that hard to find the murderers. Only who would be surely shaken by what they had done. So now they still have to think there are 2 wolves. Exactly. And then the outed wolf, not wanting to die alone, would reveal their partner. I don't think that's the case. That was the most optimistic way to look at it. Yeah, I'll say. From a pessimistic standpoint, though, the situation was absolutely terrible. 4 people had died today. In a normal feast, it had 1 per day, 1 per night. This was double that. If things hadn't gone so well in the forest, even Haru Makishima might have died. Not to mention the dreadful sight Kaori Oribe was in. I was told their relationship had gotten worse. Kaori-san was in no state to prepare food, so it was likely that no one had eaten anything today. The hunger would only worsen everyone's morale. It was best for them to prioritize getting a proper meal tomorrow. Even so, there was no guarantee we wouldn't get any more irregular deaths. For example, someone at their wits' end could attack a wolf suspect despite the threat of the corruption. If they ended up losing more humans while the number of wolves stayed the same, the humans would be done for either tomorrow or the day after. Escape. I'd been entertaining the idea since lunch. The path was ruined, and I had to travel through an undeveloped grove, but I hadn't run into anything supernatural there while searching for Haru-chan. Maybe I could get out as long as I watched where I was going? I also had Saranaga as another option. Everyone here hated it, but that just made it less likely for me to be caught. Going down a misty rocky cliff was dangerous, but at least it was a one-way road. I just had to be careful I didn't get taken by the currents, and it was definitely better than just staying here and dying. However, perhaps even suggesting that was dangerous. According to Rikaku Uematsu, the efforts of the corruption were limited to the one who broke the laws, so you could escape them by killing yourself. According to Rikaku, the effects of the corruption were limited to the one who broke the laws, so you could escape them by killing yourself. However, if someone said they wanted to escape the village, the punishment would likely go to both the one attempting it, as well as the ones who allowed it. The escape would surely become a hell of an experience then. However, there was one optimistic view of the situation. Something was actually here. Something abnormal was here in Yasumizu, killing and menacing its people using abnormal methods. Yeah, the old man could have killed himself. At the very least, Yoshitsugu Oribe, who'd went to face it, suffered a horrible death. The superstitions weren't baseless, and it was best to look at the situation from that angle. My plan of escape contradicted that. But then, how could I prepare for whatever was to come? The best I could think of was trying to familiarize myself with Fujiyoshi's superstitions. Perhaps I could find some sort of weak point or hint that could lead me to their identity. The action rhyme they did was obviously referring to the Feast of the Yomi Purge. I couldn't remember all the lyrics, but I feel like there was quite a lot of info there. Perhaps there were more hints for the feast in Yasumizu's culture and general area. I felt I had to talk to Rikaku. She was an adult who seemed more involved in Fujiyoshi's prayer and stuff than most. I needed to arm myself with more info by tomorrow morning. That, along with the proper progression of the feast, were my only ways to survive. About today's feast. They must have decided to hang the wolf guy because they just didn't care about him all that much. Simple as that. Sure, it was important to get rid of participants who weren't cooperative. However, the fact that we lost 6 people, but they still hadn't gone beyond he or she is kind of shady, was pretty bad. Yeah, that's when you know the game is fucked. Yesterday, they wouldn't have hung anyone for such a petty reason. Well, the problem was that they hadn't hung anyone at all so far. So then again, it wouldn't be a good thing to give the impression it was okay to kill people just for seeming shady. The place was regressing back to feudal, superstitious mental state. If there was something that could stop them from sinking there, it would be an outsider like me. I steeled my resolve and waited for the night to pass. Ah! Oh! Holy shit. Hi, Chieme. Good evening. She sounded kind of suspicious. Ah! I was so startled by the voice on the other side of the door that I momentarily screamed. What time was it? 7? It was too early for an attack and too late to walk around. What's wrong with you? Aren't you gonna get punished if you don't sleep? I think another hour is fine. I was awake until 8 yesterday and nothing happened. I've been sleeping too much, honestly. I'm not tired, but I am really, really hungry. Don't you have your food stocks? With Kari-san being, well, you know, I decided not to touch it. Might share it with the others. We're all hungry today, so I'll just tough it out. How upstanding. You should eat, though. What? The stuff from before? No thanks, I'll pass. Why are you here anyway? I can't sleep. Is that really all? Haruaki-san. Do you suspect me? No. Why? Because you told them about the monkeys, knowing full well what it meant. Right, that's what I thought too. The Feast of the Yomi Purge is a well-constructed communication game. Well-constructed? I mean, that there's no way to win this game beyond communication. Chigumochi-kun thought the same thing. To win, both the humans and the wolves need to have some tricks and some individual strategies. Consider the monkeys. They seem useless at first, but you can use them to easily eliminate 2 suspects. And this is possible from day 1, so they can become reliable leaders, though that would have been hard for Mochi and Meiko. Yeah, he was a free spirit and she's just a child. The wolves, on the other hand, have to go on the defensive. In a situation when being suspicious is enough to get yourself hanged, it's important not to draw attention to yourself. And that's easier said than done, though. Yeah, keeping your silence can be just as suspicious as being a blabbermouth. Fun fact, if you ever play Mafia or Werewolf with me, if I am dead silent, I am the imposter. Like, if I'm not talking, I am the imposter. Exactly. But there are 2 factors that make it easy to gauge trustworthiness right from the very start. It's so hard to talk just enough. You know? Do they have something to do with monkeys? Yeah. You have to watch out for those who give bad advice or don't provide useful suggestions. A good example of the former is Kinosuke-san. His poor planning threw everything into disarray, and that makes him really suspicious. I was good at Mafia because I changed up a lot. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. But he's confirmed to be human. Is he? That's assuming Takumi-san wasn't lying about being the snake. Huh? You think he could be lying? It's not impossible. After all, anyone can say that they have a guardian. Honestly, if I were a wolf, I'd lay low until I killed a few, and then claim to have a guardian to ensure my safety. I see. But Takumi Nichan came out on the first day. Good for him. Yeah, that was basically suicidal. But since that allows the spider to protect him, it's like a telling blow that hurt the attacker. I think. Anyway, all things considered, I'd say it's safe to trust Takumi-san and Kyonosuke. Personally, I think they're trustworthy too, since you spoke up about the monkeys. Oh, I think you're trustworthy, excuse me. What if I only did it because I saw your game? Oh, that'd be bad. Wait, hold on. Aren't you basically saying you suspected me until I spoke up about the monkeys? Oh, you noticed. This goddamn guy. This Fusaishi guy. What the hell, man? I did it because I wanted to believe you. Alright, I'll forgive you. Woohoo. That was the least enthusiastic woohoo of all time. So, who's the most suspicious one? Haru-chan. Yeah, I thought so. She's not making much sense lately, and you can explain her shift in personality by assuming because she killed her granddad. Why'd she go for her granddad if that's the case? Hold on, I got a message I gotta check. Someone's sending in their Blaze Blue connection test for the beginner tournament tomorrow. Yeah, they definitely wanna get it on. They like each other a lot, I think. Or maybe she couldn't agree with the other wolf's decision to kill Kanzoshi and stop trusting anyone. That makes a lot of sense, actually. The other wolf wanted to kill the old man because he was like the leader of the town, and she didn't agree with it, so now she wants out. Oh, that makes sense. To make up 1,000 reasons like this, though, you can't go off of just that. They'd said Haru hadn't gathered many votes, but they treated her like some kind of pariah, making it clear that everyone suspects her. It was only natural to use the snake check on her. Though, she doesn't seem all that good at games and stuff. Probably wasn't fair to judge her purely on making any useful contributions. Me, it's me. I feed so everyone thinks I'm the imposter. In that regard, Yasukun is way more suspicious. Huh? But he did say a lot, like pointing out my math was incorrect. And he did say something like what you just said, not doing anything indirectly helps the wolves, or something like that. Not to mention that on the first day, he suggested that the spider should hide. That's true. Though most of these things were minor, he was definitely contributing to the game. First day was especially important. For the wolves, it was best to create a flow where they could just stay quiet and wait for those with guardians to out themselves. What bothered me was the fact that he wasn't the one who'd brought up a leader selection and the monkey thing. He was shady because he hadn't made those useful propositions. I thought he'd figured those things out a while ago, or maybe I, as an outsider, just had a better grasp on the situation. I guess he's innocent then. I don't know about the rest, and I can't even imagine what Uematsu-san and Tai-san are thinking. I know what you mean. He's talking about Uribe, the glasses with the school uniform, the student with the glasses. But if you look at the circumstances outside the feast, Rikaku Uematsu was pretty shady. It always felt like she was hinting at something. It wouldn't have surprised me if she knew more than she let on. If she was a village head, she could know things that only those from Kamifujiyoshi knew. That was more than enough reason to suspect her. If we could follow that lead and solve this whole thing, it'd make things way easier. Haruaki-san, are you enjoying this? No? But you look like the type who likes mystery stories. I won't deny that, but I can't really enjoy myself when people I care about and I are in danger. If I did act like some master detective, I'd really just be some useless amateur. It wouldn't accomplish anything. I'm not sure I buy that. What do you mean? Everyone else is a mess. I think most normal people would lose it in this kind of situation. Oh, Zen, another theory I have is that this is Dead by Daylight. Is that they're all dead, like he died in the motorcycle crash, and they're just forced to play this werewolf game to like entertain deities or something. That's my other hypothesis. Oh, ow. I could say the same about you. I'm not exactly normal either. Oh yeah, I heard you almost killed someone. Who told you that? Look at his smug face. That's a secret, though it doesn't sound intentional. Yeah, the lost meta. Well, how do I say it? I think it happened in middle school. I grabbed a bat and beat up some students who were bullying the Yasumizu kids. Whoa. Some of them were connected to the head families, so it became a big deal. And that's basically why the adults here are so harsh on me. Ah, naruhodo. So you fight out of a sense of justice. So she was sent to Yasumizu for making enemies out of the village heads. I wouldn't say that. It's more just I have a short temper, and I wanted to make a scene. Rebellious phase? More or less. Same as Haru-chan and Yoshi-kun. In a place as rural as this, it's rare for children to grow up as level-headed as Yasu-kun, don't you think? Really? I think they'd be healthier and nicer than the edgy brats from the city. Let me rephrase that. In places as poor as this. Sag. Well, no doubt Yasumizu was destitute. There were no cars, cell phones, and it didn't even feel like it had an economy. They probably lived mostly off the land, making money for whatever they could spare from their farms and hunts. Since they had no decent way to sell stuff to anyone outside, most of their business had to be done through Kamifujiyoshi. It was entirely likely they were ripping them off. No way this place could be wealthy in those circumstances. I didn't believe that money could buy everything, but poverty takes its toll on the people suffering from it. Some could live in poverty while retaining their purity, but that was borderline saintly. It was a lifestyle too difficult for the common masses. Also, since people of Yasumizu were ostracized from Kamifujiyoshi, they were targets of unjust pressure from day one. I can understand why the children here strayed from the path. Though, when you looked at it like that, the way they strayed was so mild it was almost cute. Are you disturbed now? No, not really. You're lying. You now think I'm so blunt I'd whip out a blunt object to beat you up. I'm just going to ignore that poor attempt at a pun. My ex wasn't any different. Oh? Oh, I see. You seem confused, and I have no idea why. You weren't lying when you said you broke up with your girlfriend? You thought I was lying? I thought it was just some kind of pickup line. That's just me. Our breakup was insane. I actually felt like my life was in danger. Oh, jeez. Whoa! Sorry to hear that. What about you? Huh? Your history with guys. I shared mine, so hearing yours is only fair, right? Well... How many have you gone out with? 2? I guess? What happened to you being a hyper slut who's done it with 53 guys? Hyper slut. I never said that. I did exaggerate a bit, but I did get tons of invitations. And yet you only went out with 2? Yeah, I don't find many guys I get along with. Hey, how about me? Let's not go any further. If I let myself get too attached, I'd be too scared of dying. Being afraid of death is normal, though. Not really. Why? God is way scarier than death. Oh yeah, she said she saw God, by the way. So that's fun. I feel like you have a very unusual image of God. Really? As in no, she just said she saw God. That's all she said. You think of it as something frightening that you might actually meet, right? Everyone has met God. Maybe they just can't see it. And God really is scary. It's just that no one knows how. Myself included. You're the only one I don't understand. That's probably why. I'm afraid of losing you. Aww. Aww. That's something you say to those you promise your eternal love to. Are you mad? A bit. Oh, my Undernight tweet went out with the Gordo laughing at the net test. I see. You've gotten this far and you're still being cagey regarding your own background. You can only take playing hard to get as far as So far, until it gets annoying. I'm just not sure what to do. This isn't easy for me either. Just tell me everything. I'm going back. Chemi! Good night. Oyasumi. What the hell? Why didn't she talk? Did she not trust me? Was she messing with me? Was she just kind of crazy? Or was it something else? Crap. I wanted to chase her down and get the real answer out of her, but I was locked in. This is so frustrating. Though, this wasn't the time to worry about that. Who would the wolves go for tonight? I think the wolves are probably going to go for either the old lady or the priestess. That's my guess. The wolf guy was dead, meaning there was one less person who would vote Chiemi out tomorrow. It wasn't likely she'd get top vote. Oh yeah, they're not going to go for the old lady. The old lady wants to vote Chiemi out. They could go for Chiemi too. She did out the monkeys. Best way to think the wolf would go for someone who was useful to the humans and couldn't be killed with the votes. Old shitty man? Oh yeah, because he's not being protected. And he kind of took a leadership role. That means that she and Yasunaga-kun were the ones at the highest risk. Chiemi and Yasunaga is glasses, young glasses. On the other hand, their survival will make things difficult in other ways. They'd probably be forced to consider the possibility that they themselves were wolves. Could I really trust Chiemi? I felt I could, but not completely. Whatever the case, a situation where the more talkative ones were seen as suspicious would make it harder for her to survive. Should I have talked to her about running away? No. That was probably pointless. Wolves' best targets are the people confirmed innocent. Yeah, that's true, because then votes, like, less trust among the group. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know much about her whole god thing, but it was clear that the escape wasn't an option for her. Something scary that everyone had met, yet not fully perceivable. Was she speaking figuratively? Or could she literally see something? Shit. You know, I don't care. I became irritated. My hunger was starting to get to me. Figuring out was better than just wasting my mental energy. I focused on taking a bath and going to bed. I had no idea how naive my predictions would prove to be. Thursday. I wake up at 5 in the morning. The window was still boarded up, so I couldn't see anything outside. All I could do was sit around and wait. Eventually, I could hear the objects keeping me in get removed, and I was greeted by Yasunaga Aribe and Chiemi Serizawa. They made it. These two actually survived. I met up with Haru, too. Her face was pale, and she had bags under her eyes. No one here looked healthy anymore, but she was beyond even that point. I would agree with that, Koyo. She's definitely best girl. She'd gone completely meek, too. The defiance from yesterday was gone, and she was just letting Yasunaga guide her. She'd lost another friend, after all. We arrived at the dining hall, but found no one there. The door was unlocked. That was a bad sign. It was Kanza Makishima's place all over again. Mom should be sleeping upstairs. With that knowledge, I opened the door. What if she was attacked? Even if she wasn't, considering her state yesterday, it wasn't unlikely she did something unthinkable, such as suicide. However, I soon found out my worries were for nothing. Kaori-san was standing all alone in the dark dining hall wearing an apron. In fact, she wasn't doing anything but standing, was just eerie. Good morning. She turned around and greeted us. Her voice was the only thing calm about her. Her eyes were bloodshot, and signs of malnourishment were all across her face. Her faint, forced smile made her seem on the verge of collapse. Yeah, those eyes are bad. She completely failed at acting normal. Her heart was probably swirling with panic and sorrow as great as yesterday. Everyone here could see it. And she's got the dead eyes. Mom, everyone's hungry. I'll make food. You just go rest. Huh? But I can do it myself. I'll help. I actually cook for myself, so I know what to do. After they volunteered to support Kaori-san, I thought about what purpose I could serve here. And called to Haru-chan before going outside. She came with me, but wasn't saying a word. During yesterday's feast, she'd had a fight with Kaori-san. The woman had voted for Haru-chan due to her change in attitude and failed escape attempt, and I couldn't blame her for that. Considering her personality, I imagine the exchange had been extremely intense. That was why getting her out of the dining hall was a good move. Problem was, we didn't really have anything to talk about. This was made worse by the hostility she'd shown me until just recently. According to Mochi, that was a product from her affection toward Yasunaga-kun and all the drama surrounding him. Normally, I'd playfully give her a hard time about that kind of thing, but it seemed in poor taste considering the situation. She was staring daggers at me. Maybe I just had to ask her. Makishima Haru-san? What? I'll be frank. Are you a wolf? No, I'm not a wolf. She didn't hesitate at all. Not like that meant anything. You don't believe me? Then Takumi-ni will check. That'll show you. Are you saying that despite knowing? Huh? Knowing what? If he were alive, he'd be the one looking after Kaori-san at the dining hall. Yesterday, he went there first thing in the morning, with Kaori-san in her current state. That was all the more reason for him to be there. But now he's missing. The spider played the gamble and got bodied? Dude. Or the spider's dead. The old man might have been the spider. Or the young kid might have been the spider. The punk. No way, that's just... We'll go check to be sure. Lead the way. Okay. Taiba, are you awake? Haru knocked at the door and tried to open it, but it was locked, meaning it wasn't touched. Tai-san came out sooner than later. She looked pretty displeased to begin with, but upon seeing me, displayed outright disgust. What are you doing here? I'm sorry. Kari-san isn't well, and we needed more people. Where's Takumi? We're going to check on him. Her gloomy expression told me she'd realized what might have happened. She said she had to prepare, so we excluded ourselves. Please ask if you need anything. Of course. She shut the door on us. You're nice to all women, aren't you? What the hell was that saying? Being considerate of elders and women is a gentlemanly thing to do. Is that how you feel about Chiene? I like her quite a lot. Please, don't. I'd feel so bad for Nichan. Nichan? Well, that must be Yasunaga-kun. What do you mean? Yoshi-kun and Mochi are gone. Kori-san and Chiene are all he has left. Also, she's the strongest among us, and she's always protected us from the people of Kamifujiyoshi and adults. Don't take her away from us. So that's how it was. I wasn't sure how she actually felt about Chieme, but there was definitely... Damn it, as soon as I said it. But there was definitely more trust and reliance than I'd expected. Yasunaga-kun spoke like he'd given up on Chieme, but deep down, he was actually glad she had returned. Haru-chan was aware of that, and she actually liked Chieme. That's why she concluded that they should be together. However, it was clear she didn't feel like giving them her blessing. I understand how you feel. The end result depended on Chieme, and since she hated Yasumizu, I felt like it wouldn't be something Haru-chan wanted. Then again, I really didn't know what was going on in Chieme's head either, and I had no idea who'd survive, so making predictions was a waste of time. For now, everyone should focus on ending the feast. I don't think I can do much, but if there's something you don't want to tell your own, I'm willing to listen. Huh? What do you mean? Nothing much. It just feels like you have a lot to worry about. And personally, I still think that escaping outside is a good idea. That's not possible. Hmm? Didn't you try it yourself? But I failed, didn't I? That made me realize we can't escape. Isn't it just because you happened to hurt your foot? It didn't just happen. Hmm? Do you believe in God too? What did you just say? God doesn't exist. If I doubted that, I just couldn't cope with anything. There was a weird aura around her for a sec, but then she walked away, leaving me no choice but to follow her. Ah! Wah. We arrived at the houses. The mysterious girl was on the verge of crying. Good morning. What's wrong? Oh god, is the priestess dead too? Speak normally. You know how to, right? Come on, be more mature. Repeat after me. Good morning. Oh my goodness gracious. This was hopeless. Haru-chan glared at her while I stayed patient. Where's Rikako-san? One-chan? Yeah. Where is she? She hasn't come out. Her house is right here. It really was. I'd been here yesterday. I knocked and called out to her. There was no response. Haru-chan and I looked at each other, and I tried opening the door. Huh? It was locked. Rikako-san? Still no response. I hesitantly put my ear against the door. I heard some sort of rustling sound. Oh, she's probably getting dressed. Then he really did. We don't know for sure. It could still be Kyonosuke she. What about me? Well, I did expect him to live. Is Rikaku-san well? She's all you care about, isn't she? And yes, she does seem alright. She's not out yet, though. I wonder what's up. I had a bad feeling about something. Good to see it was nothing. Does this mean that the one who died was Lady Yamawaki? Taiba's alive. What? Why was he so positive? Yeah, why was he so positive? Oh, wait. Is he the spider? Did he protect Muro? Did Muro kill them and died to the corruption? Haru-chan, take Meiko to the dining hall. Kyonosuke-san, help me out. He probably just assumed Takumi was safe. Yeah, maybe. He tried to say something, but decided against it. He must have realized what had happened to the one who'd usually be given these annoying jobs. As expected, the door to his house was unlocked, and the reek of fresh blood was so strong you could smell it outside. I thought that was enough to help me prepare, but once I saw the source, I couldn't keep down what few contents my stomach had left. The two from the first day, Kanzo Makishima and Yoshitsugu Uribe, they'd lost all semblance of form to the point that their corpses felt unrealistic. On the other hand, Chikamochi and the other wolf guys' corpses were far too clean. Their faces were still intact. However, Takumi Muro-san's corpse was an even balance between ruined and intact. I was spread out on the floor, surrounded by splashes and splotches of blood, as well as some bloody footprints. Scattered brain, gray matter, bone fragments, eyes. About 60% of his face was gone. This time, the method was clear. There was a rifle lying next to his corpse. The weapon was actually on the scene for once. So you mean to tell me someone shot a rifle and nobody heard it? It was a gun. What did it mean? I wanted to think about that, but I was too shaken by the clear agony Takumi-san's death had brought him. You could see the suffering in still present half of his face. His hands were on his head too, as if to cover his face, or reach for the clearly fatal wound. He died while holding his shattered brain. Though fatal, the first attack hadn't killed him instantly. He could still move after it, which was a testament to his strength and willpower. Oh! His life had ended as if suffered overwhelming despair. It was written all over clearly in his death's visage. My emotions bubbled over and overwhelmed my thoughts, and I vomited once again. Are you okay? Kyonosuke, she asked, clearly avoiding looking at it himself. Sorry, I had a yawn. Bring me someone who can use guns, please. Rikako didn't leave the house because she's scared of the gun. Maybe. I never expected you to come along. Her expression was so stern and serious for me to even say that. Takumi-ni-chan. Shit. She cursed and looked at the gun. Ah, that's the old man's gun. She grasped its long body and picked it up. All 5 bullets were fired. See any empty cartridges? I'll look around. I found them real quick. They were covered in blood and flesh, but yeah, I found the metallic cylinders, all 5 of them. They were 2 meters away from the corpse, very close to one another. Either the culprit fired from there or gathered them afterwards. Look at the handle. Jimmy extended the rifle to me. I did as told. Compared to the rest of the gun, which had blood on every part, the handle was clean, like it had been wiped. To remove the fingerprints. Kamone. Chieme then held it like she was about to shoot and aimed it at Takumi-san's body. It was fired from here. How can you tell? The way the blood scattered. See how it's concentrated around there? It's proof the culprit fired from a low angle. Also, normal rifles can't make such a huge mess unless they're fired from really close. Yeah, there's no forensics here. I don't know why they're so concerned about it. But make it point blank and the stuff would get on and around the muzzle. The rifle would be even dirtier. This is really suspicious of Chieme, by the way. And that was why it was natural to think it had been fired from where she was standing, near the cartridges. Can you actually aim and hit something with this? As long as you know how to aim and the target isn't moving, that's all you need. So this was done by someone who knows how to use guns. By the way, it's just a matter of looking at the bead through the sight. Guns are useful little toys that make murder so easy, anyone can do it. What about loading? That doesn't seem like something a layman can do, is it? Good point. But even Tai Bachan has experience firing a gun. Finding the culprit in Yasumizu won't be easy. This was a settlement where people went hunting. Basically everyone here must have touched rifles before. All we could really assume was that Meiko-chan couldn't have done this. And it's not like every bullet hit the head. One grazed the ear, one hit the chest, one hit the shoulder, and look here, a bullet hole. She pointed at a small part of the floor that was ruined. So, only one hit the head. Yeah, I think that one wasn't fatal though, and probably the one in the chest that ended it. She looked at the body's pose and made the same conclusions as me. Why do you know so much about guns anyhow? I have a hunting license. I know how to use guns, traps, and nets. I used to do lots of skeet shooting outside of Yasumizu. I'm pretty good with a gun. Well, damn. I didn't expect that. I can understand why. Do you plan to return here to become a hunter? I just want to have a gun. That's it. She said that as if it's no big deal. Her tone seemed kinda dangerous. Yes, so much so that she almost killed someone. I think it happened in middle school. I grabbed a bat and beat up some students who were bullying the Yasumizu kids. Kinda suspicious, Chieme. It was the impression you get from a girl capable of random acts of violence. I was probably jumping to conclusions, though. Let's clean it up now. If you're fine with it, let's do it then. Did you find out anything? I'm now 100% certain that these murders were committed by people. The culprit used a gun and wiped off fingerprints, acts that demonstrated a very human level of cunning. If we were up against something supernatural, they just used their mysterious powers instead. If something mysterious can be explained by mundane means, then it was caused by mundane means. It was a general rule I lived by, proven to be both knowledge and first-hand experience. Supernatural powers that required carrying out occult rituals were prime examples of things it applied to. The more detailed the preparation required, the more opportunities to notice something amiss. If the trick relied on concealing the method, it was safe to assume the method was something mundane. Even this death wasn't caused by some kind of supernatural force. It just happened unobserved. We had people who could do it, and the methods that fit. That was the best way to look at it, right? And maybe you're right. So you agree. I do think that it was done by people I know. By actual humans. Yeah, with first-hand experience. This guy's like a forensics expert or something. Didn't that go against her whole God story? I wanted to ask that, but seeing her eyes made me fall silent. Her eyes were wide and cloudy. But... Her lips let out clear words. No one. I probably wanted to cover my ears too. Oh god. Can escape God. Found her words so irrational it began to frighten me. That's actually really scary. I asked Chieme to call Kyonosuke-shi to help carry the corpse, but she insisted on doing it herself. I caved, and we began the unpleasant task. Following Takumi-san's example, I removed the door and placed his body on it. Chieme and I each took an end of the door and lifted it up. He was as heavy as he looked, and I wouldn't have been surprised if this was too much, even for two men. However, Chieme lifted her side without letting out a single grunt of exertion. It felt like the act of rejection of the idea that she might need help. We slowly began walking. Kyonosuke Shi was outside. He was anxious about something. Didn't look like he was waiting for us. Maybe Rikaku Uematsu hadn't come out yet? Couldn't afford to stop and chat. Relaxing my arms or my lower body could lead to me dropping Takumi-san. I kept walking forward without a single word. Sighing and stopping was our sign that one of us needed to rest. Every time one of us did it, we lowered him to the ground, rubbed our aching hands, adjusted our grips, and resumed walking. As we approached the cliff, Chiami's expression grew darker. Takumi-ni-chan was the youngest of the adults. He was like my older brother. What if Shitty Glasses is a spider? He could be. And he's just been protecting the... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's just been protecting her because he's a simp. I simply nodded, continuing to play the role of audience. He played with me a lot and always protected me when the other adults got mad at me. There's nothing good about this humid place. But he loved Yasumizu and the people living here. I could tell. He was honest to a fault. Yeah. I don't want to just throw him away. Of course you don't. I don't like this either. Should we stop? The only ones who would really care about this are Takumi-san himself and Tai-san, right? No. We gotta do this. Because of the corruption? Yeah. I continued asking if she was sure, but it didn't change her mind, so we ended up throwing his body into Saranaga. We walked through the graveyard, careful not to trip. We could now see the hanging pine through the mist. Our destination was near. We carefully closed in on the cliff and pushed the door towards it. Bye, Takumi-ni-chan. She said that right as I felt the body slide off. It was falling. I'd done this several times now, but it still made me feel empty. It would eventually hit the water, make a splash, and that'd be it. Huh? Did you hear the water? I'm not sure. Did we both miss it somehow? Or maybe the bottom of the Saranaga opened up into a yawning chasm, leading to Yomi. Wow, you've got quite the imagination. No one knows what's beyond the mists. There could be anything out there. You want me to go down and take a look? You won't make it back. That was how she saw the world. Let's go back. We returned to do another investigation of Takumi-san's house, but something strange had happened while we were gone. Kyonosuke Shi was still in the same spot, in front of Rikaku Uematsu's house, waiting for her, without even trying to hide his frustration. She still hasn't come out? No. You're the one who said she seemed alright. What made you think that? I heard sounds. Why don't you call out to her yourself instead of just waiting? As if I could do something so rude to such a fine lady. Why is she the only one you're nice to? Nosato is above Uematsu, isn't it? Those are their family names. That was an interesting bit of info. I hadn't realized that the head families had a hierarchy. It's only natural to be considerate of women. I'm a woman too, though. I don't see a reason to be considerate of someone so hostile towards me. Do you? Please stop. We just finished putting a body to rest. That was probably one of the reasons why they were so agitated, but my comment was enough to shut them up. Though, yes, I'm worried too. She might need help if she's sick or injured. We may have no choice but to barge in. How improper. Was he the type of guy to report someone who undressed a girl to give her proper first aid? What was up with this guy's priorities? Uematsu-san! Rikako-san! I bashed the door almost violently. I heard the sound of rustling clothes. Had she collapsed or something? Uematsu-san, I'm coming in! No answer, only sounds. Was it really her in there? Let's break it down. Chiemi nodded. Well, Kyonosuke gave a disgruntled sigh. The door was made from thin plywood and a wooden frame. A solid impact would break it through. I looked around and saw a few aging farming tools lying against some houses. The old wooden hoe and mallet were too rotten to work here, but an old axe looked just right. Seno! I lifted the axe and started counting, but had to stop midway. The door suddenly moved. Surprised, I jumped backwards and glanced at the other two. They were just as shocked, if not frightened. What is that? What do you mean? It has to be Rikako-san. Uematsu-san. There was no response at first, but a few seconds later, the door shook again. A moment later, it fell silent once more. Had she collapsed on the door? She wasn't well and was lying in the door. Breaking it open was dangerous. I put the axe down and walked up to the door again. The moment I approached it, I heard a clicking sound. I didn't even have time to question what had happened before it creaked open. There was a gap of about 20 centimeters, and it was pitch black inside. And there was a face all covered in blood. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I sunk back into the darkness the very next moment, but it was soon replaced by an inhuman scream and an arm that snaked out and grabbed for my neck. The grip had inhuman strength behind it. I ignored Chieme and Kinosuke's screams and tried to pry myself free. My throat was on the verge of crushing. She a Yomibito? The groans continued ceaselessly. The nails dug into my neck, and I was being dragged outside. She must have killed Mochi. Tasukete! How the hell was she so strong? The arm clearly belonged to her, so why? Help me! The words got them out of the stupor, and they ran up to me. The panic and lack of oxygen dimmed my vision. They grabbed, bashed, and tugged at the arm that was holding on to me. Damn it. Hey, let go! Just one finger. I don't know how long it took, but when I was eventually freed, Chieme swiftly slammed the door shut. Bring something I can use to bar the door. Like what? Just shove the axe in it. Sitting on the ground in shock, I simply stared at their exchange. I still could barely breathe. My vision was hazy, and I couldn't think clearly. Something inside was trying to get the door open and possibly escape. What it was, though, I had no idea. What had happened to Rikako? How about this? Nosato-san, hold it shut. I'll bring the others and we'll barricade it. Haruaki-san, are you alright? Can you stand? Yeah. Actions were more important than words now. Stealing my resolve, I rose to my feet. We gathered everyone who could still move and sealed off Rikako Uematsu's door and windows with planks, nails, large farming tools, and whatever else we could find. The small house was basically a pile of flimsy barricades now. Everyone was tired from all the work and sat down to rest. What's the point of doing this, though? Someone asked. We could still hear groans and crashing sounds. No one answered the question, but we all understood that letting that thing out would be a mistake. But what exactly was that, anyways? A Yomibito. That seemed like an answer of some sort. What do you mean? Corrupted folk that come from Yomi. You know, don't you? Has to be a Yomibito. That's not what I meant. Yomibito are the wolves, right? They come back to life because their grudge over being killed during the feast. It's not always like that, Haru-chan. Yasumizu has always been menaced by Yomibito. Or maybe it's the corruption. Uematsu-san might have broken an important law. But that can't be. Protecting the laws is the role of the purifying spider family. That's not to say she was the spider, by the way. Her clan was, like, the different guardians are also the head families of the big village. But that might be it. She touched too much of the corruption. But that's... She might have come to Yasumizu to keep a little bit of the Yomi's corruption away. How many Yomibito will we have now? Takumi was a good boy. Maybe it's a good thing he died before seeing hell. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. And so she prayed. Her eyes were teary and shoulders were shaking. Wait then. Rikako-san is... Yomibito must be hanged. That didn't sit right with me. The rule was that breaking the laws meant getting the corruption. And getting the corruption meant being slaughtered, right? Oh, shit, I clicked out. It was the first time I'd heard that it was possible to do something about the corruption, and that she'd die because of that. Logic had little ground here, so people were gradually losing their minds. They were being pushed closer to death. It was like this was a supernatural phenomenon. Oh god. Is anyone hungry? I've already calmed down, so we can rest after you have calmed down as well. She's giving big wolf energy right now. It was a very attractive suggestion, and we all turned away and returned to the dining hall. I felt like Rikako Uematsu let out a groan even more inhumanly loud than any of those before. Once we arrived, the place was dominated by a heavy silence. There were sounds coming from the kitchen. A kitchen knife rhythmically hit the cutting board as Kaori-san prepared the food. Tai-san was seated away from everybody, desperately yet fluently chanting a sutra. Combined with the kitchen sounds, it had a mind-numbing effect. She might poison everyone? Yeah. Everyone else was simply falling into a torpor, staring silently into space. Even I, the sanest person here, wanted to simply let my mind shut down and stop thinking. That wouldn't stop me from trying, though. This music again. Rather than trying to evaluate the details, I decided to return to square one and summarize the current situation. Alright, recap time. Takumi-san was dead. That left me, Chieme, the two Oribes, mother and son, Kyonosuke-san, Tai, Meiko, Rikako, and Haru, a total of 9. And Rikaku Uematsu, I didn't want to say she'd become a Yombito or something, but it was clear that she was in a condition that left her functionally useless. Normally, the right thing to do here would be to take her to a hospital, but instead, they were going to discuss killing her. I'd probably have to remind them of the sound course of action. Whatever the case, if you ignored Rikako and I, only 7 people were participating in the feast. With Takumi-san's death, we would never know what the snake found out about Haru. Therefore, the only confirmed people were Kyonosuke and Meiko, the monkey. Personally, I thought I could trust Chieme, so that made 3. I left 4 others. This was bad. I wonder if Chieme understood that. I had to talk to her in private. Where's One-chan? We kept Meiko away from all that has happened this morning. She was still in the dark about Rikako. She's not feeling too good. Leave her in peace. Okay. Can I go outside? It's dangerous. I'll look after her. She'll be safe if she stays close. Yasunaga. What's up? There's something I want you to fetch. I'm going to use the bathroom. More and more people left. They probably didn't feel comfortable standing up until now. Tai-san just continued chanting, though. It was like she lived in another world. Besides her, all that was left was Haru. The way she constantly shifted in her seat made it clear she felt uncomfortable. I'm sorry about Takumi-san. I tried talking to her. Yeah, Chiene always relied on him. What about Uematsu Rikaku? I don't like her. She creeps me out. Chieme seemed fine with her, though. That's because she's strong. When did Uematsu-san arrive here? 2 or 3 years ago. Not recently, at least. That seemed like plenty of time to get to know a person, if you ask me. Or maybe not. Yasumizu's people had been suffering at the hands of the village heads for generations. Of course, they couldn't just accept her. I hear she's one of the village heads, but what kind of family are the Uematsu anyway? What do you even want to know? How many times do you have to tell you that you're an outsider and should just stay out of all this? Excuse me. That was insensitive of me. Let's talk about something else then, alright? Fine. I looked around. As I saw Yasunaga-kun walk upstairs, I lowered my voice and asked, what was mochi to you? Why are you asking? To make up for his lack of funeral. In funerals, you talk about people who passed away, right? I remember hearing that gives their souls peace. Well, this is unexpected. What is it? I thought you were cold and heartless. I didn't think I'd hear something about peace in the afterlife from you. That was rude. Mochi was a Nasato, but he never acted like he was better than anyone. He was weird and as much a troublemaker as Chiene, but he never hurt anyone. Everyone said he wasn't right in the head, but I didn't think so. He was really funny. I think he would have been really popular if he appeared on TV. He was 1 year older than me, but he treated me like someone his own age. I always had tons of fun with him. He got along really well with Nii-chan, too. Oh, he did? Yeah. They were always together, and they were like a pair of heroes in school. They got along so well that it sometimes felt lonely with them. Her visage dimmed. It felt like she was easier to understand than most. If Mochi really liked her, it must have been a tough love. She hadn't even looked at him in that regard. And being with Yasunaga-kun even made him a target of her jealousy. But he's gone now. Yasunaga-kun must feel terrible. Yeah. Why not help him out? Yasunaga-kun was going upstairs again. I gestured at him with my chin. Huh? He's doing something for his mom, and Chiemi-chan's outside. I don't think you can replace Mochi, and Chiemi-chan's probably the best person for the job. But even if you are the ones who will make the final decision, there's no reason to hold yourself back in the meantime, right? You want to help him, don't you? Yeah. You too? Well, Chiemi has given me way more than just a meal and a place to stay. I won't say I don't have ulterior motives, but more than that, I just want to support her. She seems to be suffering at the hands of things I can't even comprehend. Yeah, I think I misunderstood you. I can't blame you. Are you going? Yeah. I still need to apologize for yesterday. Then I'll go outside too. And we stood up at the same time. Though Haru-chan was always on edge, deep inside, she was a really honest girl. I worried that she'd fall victim to some scumbag like me down the road. Hey. Oh, what's up? Maybe you should really run away. Never mind. Forget I said anything. She cut herself short and hurried upstairs. Apparently, I'd gained some of her trust, but it didn't look like I could get anything more useful than that bit of advice. Unlike the other inhabitants, she just believed that escape was possible. That's why she tried to do it yesterday. That might have been the extent of it. So, who do you suspect? Haru and Yasunaga. I walked up to Chiemi, who was looking after Meiko. A bit of redemption, but she still might be a wolf. Apparently he still suspects her. I can understand Haru-chan, but Yasu? We have 4 suspects, Tai-san, Kaori-san, and those 2. He was the only one out of those who was outside when Mochi died yesterday. That's true. It was Takumi, Chiemi, Rikako. I think Rikako might have done it though and got subject to corruption. And considering how cunning the wolves are, I can't imagine it being anyone but him. He's that devious? Yes. Why did Takumi-san die today? Huh? What do you mean? He was obviously killed by the wolves. That's not what I'm asking. Well, what do you mean? Oh, I think I get it. Because the spider didn't protect him. Right. The spider is probably already dead. Huh? Wait. When you think about it, on the first day, Takumi-san was protected by the spider. Yesterday, no one actually said that the spider should protect someone else, right? Yeah. That means that the spider once again protected Takumi-san. He's way too valuable. At least that's what should have happened if the spider was still alive. Well, that's true. Since the feast started, the ones who died before Takumi-san were Kanzo-san, Yoshitsugu-kun, Mochi, and the old man who cried wolf. That's a risky gamble by the wolves, though. That's a risky play by the wolves to assume the spider's dead, unless they get the identity of who they kill when they kill them. One of those 4 was the spider. The wolves realized this, killed him, and then went for Takumi-san. That's the only logical explanation. I wonder how they figured that out. Huh? Are you thinking of it? What if they just assumed the spider was gone because 4 people died? That's the optimistic take, but if we're actually dealing with someone clever, underestimating them would be fatal. But how'd you find out how'd they find out who the spider is? Oh, you're too loud. Don't mind Meiko-chan. She resumed scribbling on the ground. She was completely absorbed in it, for some reason. I think it's likely the wolves guessed who was the spider. How? You told me that on the first day, Kanzo-san let Yasunaga-kun talk for most of the feast, and then only made the final decision, right? He looked like a more proactive type to me. I doubt he'd agree to not hang anyone up on the first day. Well, that's true, but what about it? If he'd spoken up and taken the initiative, he could have easily controlled the situation, and most of his decisions would have been good calls. That was why he was such a good target for the wolves. That's what we thought, right? That's true, but we also thought the same about Yasukun. On the other hand, if you're a wolf, you have no chance of becoming a target for the wolves. It's more dangerous for them to not say anything important and look suspicious. Giving away harmless info, for one, is way better. That's the clever thing to do, don't you think? But how's that related to Kanzo-ji-chan? Well, this is all just speculation. But I think he kept quiet to avoid calling attention to himself, so the wolves wouldn't target him. Why would he do that? Because he felt that his survival was intrinsically linked to that of the others. Because he was the guardian. Yeah. And that guardian was probably the spider. Why are you so confident? The spider is the most vulnerable participant in the feast. After all, the one person they can't protect is themselves. But as long as his identity was hidden, he had the possibility of making the wolves waste the night. That was probably why he tried not to stand out. But it worked against him and attracted the wolves' attention. He, of all people, is quiet? He must have an amazing guardian, and all that. That led the wolves to take him out the first day, and then taking out Takumi-san, who is now defenseless, on the second. Hold on, I got a cough. Let me get a drink of water, too. I've been talking a lot. I know that's just speculation, but I kind of feel like you're right. If even that was planned by the enemies, it's best to assume that the anomalies, too, have all been shortcuts for the wolves. What do you mean? Too many people died outside the rules. Yoshitsugu-kun, Mochi, the old wolf guy, Rikako. She's effectively dead now. To the wolves, unplanned deaths are a good thing. The less feast they have to survive, the lower the chance they'll be hanged. And what if they planned for those people to die? They might have even planned for Haru to die. Actually, they might have planned for Haru to try to run and actually end up dying. So maybe Haru's not a wolf. They could tell Yoshitsugu-kun to walk around outside at night, basically sending him to the corruption. I don't know the motive behind Mochi and the wolf guy's deaths, but it all makes sense if they were killed by Rikako. It would make sense. Tai-san talked about the Yomatsu's role, and though she fell in the corruption because of it, but there's a more reasonable explanation. If she killed the two, she would have broken the feast rules of one person per day and became a target of the corruption. I put aside the idea that there were apparently two types of corruptions, slaughter and madness. But how? Did you see the clothes she wears? She wouldn't have the time to change. And there's no way she could have won against two men, right? And how about this? Mochi or the wolf guy killed the other, and the one who survived was killed by her. Oops, damn it, I clicked out again. She became the target of the corruption for drawing the blood of a second person in one day. I don't know about the clothes, but it could be solved by a large apron or something. We can't say it's impossible until we verify it. But even a single guy sounds like too much for her. One of them was senile, though. Or maybe they were weakened from trying to kill each other. Kill? What? How could you think something like that? Again, it's all just speculation. I don't know the motive, but it does make sense. But how is this related to the wolves conspiracy? I don't know the motive here either, but if they knew her weakness or something, they could have goaded her into killing them. Or maybe she was a wolf herself. Chimmy was at a loss for words, so I had no choice but to continue myself. She could have hesitated the whole process to give the other wolf an advantage. She could have hastened the whole process to give the other wolf an advantage. Interesting one. I really doubt that. Getting themselves killed would be really bad for the wolves. True. Considering the number of wolves and humans, losing one wolf to take out two humans isn't a good deal. But there was no guarantee that everyone would realize that. Not everyone acts logically. There's lots of illogical stuff going on too, and predicting their effects is impossible. No, I don't want to hear that. But you can't give up, can you? I don't want to think anymore. Sorry, I've said too much. Don't worry, I'm the one who should be sorry, but yeah, this is a bit hard for me. I really don't think you people need to keep playing along with this. I'll help you escape, if you want. We can't. I just know that if you're born here, you're fated to die here. That's just baseless delusion. Someone who can't see God would never understand. Yeah, I won't. How troubling. It really was troubling. If this was some tabletop, fun for the whole family game, I'd have already punched the GM and left. Let's go. But lives were actually on the line here. Not just my own, but also that of someone I kind of liked. We'd made it this far, yet she was uncooperative. Maybe I was going about this wrong. Maybe if I wanted to save her life, I had to start by saving her from the darkness within. Kind of anime-ass. Or maybe from the unidentified supernatural phenomenon that was binding her. Though, that didn't seem like something that could be done in just 3 or 4 days. Still, I'd struggle until the very end. I couldn't participate in the feast myself, so I had no choice but to leave it to Chiemi. I didn't say anything more to her. I just chose to believe she'd overcome her inner conflict soon. Meanwhile, Mako's drawing had grown so large it felt like she would get lost in the mist.
Oi.
Hey! I left Chiemi and went to Mako. She waved to me. Good thing she was kind of used to me now. What are you drawing? Those are the Guardians. Guardians? One drawing showed a warped circle with a line just as strange going through it. But I could see what it was. It looked much like the Higuchi family crest I saw in the dining hall. There were 4 of them, apparently. The others were hard to differentiate. Oh, that whirling drawing was the same as the one in the stone. The symbol, the Yomotsu Ookami. I see. Shinai's Guardians. Did One-chan teach them to you? Yeah. Oh, what about these? They're not guardians, are they? They're the cattle. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting her to say such a vivid word. Animals, huh? Yeah, this is a cow. This is a donkey. This is a pig. Oh. The ground wasn't the best canvas, and the little girl wasn't the best artist, but all I could really tell was that they had 4 legs. And this is? This is me. It had 4 legs, too. Whatever. And this? Oh, it's bigger than the others. That's the Okami. A light chill went down my spine. Oh. Why are you a wolf? Because the wolf is coming. Oh god, she's talking like the old man. Because the wolf is coming, I had to run far away. Hold on, Mako-chan. You know the wolf? I haven't met him, but I know he's scary. Is this the same wolf as we have here? Eh? Where's the snake? And where's the monkey? I don't know. Oh shit. Oh shit. The snake and the monkey are dead, right? She knows what's up. The wolf is coming. She drew the wolf. She drew the Uematsu family, which I guess is that the crow? What does the wolf do? Eats the cattle. And the cattle are going to be the other people. Yeah. They said the horse was eaten. Apparently this has nothing to do with Fujiyoshi's legend. I had no idea if it was from a picture book or her imagination, but there were barely any links between the story. Yeah, she's a sheep. She's sheep. Or maybe I was rushing to conclusions. Who told you this story? It really happened. Oh, where then? Far away. I've been walking for so long. Do you think she's looping like we do? Yeah, the sheep with the glasses, the NPC sheep, or Bedman maybe. Well, it didn't look like I could get any details from her. If far away referred to a land of myth, it actually held truths regarding Fujiyoshi's legends that weren't told here. What the hell was I thinking? Land of myth? How stupid. I should just calm down and file it under more info that made no sense to me. I see. It must have been hard. I'm hungry. Same here. Let's go back. Bedman Sheep is actually a little girl? Really? As we turned around, I saw Chiemi stand up in the mist again and hesitantly beckoning us. Looks like the food's ready. Kinosuke was standing at the entrance to the dining hall, wearing a gloomy expression. He was never particularly vigorous, but now his visage was haggard, and he wasn't nearly as arrogant as before. His princess is dead. The only person he was flirtatious to, Rikaku, was in an awful state. Also, despite all he'd said, he'd actually relied on Takumi-san. They seemed to be close in terms of age, too. From what I'd heard, he'd never really said anything wrong. The only problem was his insensitive choice of words. Rude boy. The feast was a communication game. Even if they were right about something, it didn't matter if you couldn't convince anyone. Thank you. Still, he was one of the mere 2 confirmed humans. Treating him badly and making him upset wouldn't help at all. I had to be courteous. Let's go. Yeah. Hungry, Meiko-chan? Chemi had calmed down a bit. I had already told her my suspicions. I now had to hope she handled the feast well. And that was left now was to get some nutrients to support my hardworking brain, right? I'm sorry I couldn't prepare anything better. She ladled what appeared to be rice gruel from a large pot. It was a thick white soup with vegetables, rice, and something brown inside. Ah, game meat. Is it fermented? Yes. The fresh meat was spoiled. Chiemi-chan. What do we do? What do you want to do? We were talking about the thing where I had to avoid the local food. You know what? I'll stick to my diet until the end this time. Okay, thank you. What did I mean by this time? Did I think I had another life or something? I do. It was fine. It wasn't like I was cool with dying just on the one-off chance I got a second shot. Dying wasn't an acceptable option. I wasn't about to compromise on that. Yeah, he is actually looping. The first instance of the game, he dies on the first night to the wolf, and he starts over, and he remembers it. Yeah. But he died like frame 1, the first night, or the first loop. There's no point in walking around, so I'll just wait here. All right. You're not going to eat? I have a bunch of allergies. He doesn't seem to understand that he's looping yet. Yeah, no, he doesn't understand it, but he remembers the night he died and has alluded to it. It's because you youngins don't eat proper. You won't become strong if you don't have a balanced diet. Hey, I was lying, but actual allergy sufferers that they should just eat and they'd be cured was actual murder. Yeah, this is some boomer shit, dude. This is the like, yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean gluten-free? Just eat gluten and get over it. Yeah, boomer as fuck. I actually think Yasunaga might be in like Florida somewhere because it's very reminiscent of Florida, like boomers. Well, there were some efforts to cure allergies by carefully injecting the allergens via vaccine, but that was a subject for a doctor. Anyways, going back to the dorm by myself was dangerous since they'd suspect me, so I just waited in the corner of the room, still hungry. Where are Yasunaga-kun and Haru-chan? Are they still upstairs? Don't mind them. Your food will get cold. I'll go call them. In before dead. I went up the stairs, and when I reached the second floor, I stopped for a moment. I heard some rustling. Was it possible they'd gotten that intimate in just a few minutes? Was I about to ruin the mood? Well, food was important too. I said, to get their attention, and slowly went up, making sure I was loud enough for them to hear me coming. That's the classic. I'm walking up the stairs now. Boomers cannot fathom people experiencing the world differently than them. It's so true. Lunchtime. Oh? Yasunaga-kun. Hello. The room was full of stuff. It was a huge mess. You looking for something, huh? No luck? Yeah, I was told there was a new apron in the attic, but we couldn't find it there, so we were checking other places too. Apron? Apron? Rikako used the apron? Did you see? Huh? Could you not tell anyone about this? Well, I did come up carefully, but it's not like I saw anything I shouldn't have. Were you two going at it? What are you saying? Just kidding. I know you wouldn't do something like that at a time like this. Of course we wouldn't. Was this a wolf meeting? Was this a wolf meeting, friends? Really now, I was still kind of worried. Anyway, why not take a break and get some food? They didn't argue. As we prepared to go back... Oh god, there was a loud noise from downstairs. What? Yasunaga-kun and I looked at each other and then ran out of the room without saying a word. We were met with a strange scene. I instantly realized what had happened and who was responsible. Kyonosuke was wearing a furious expression, his shoulders shaking. There was a shattered plate of rice gruel at his feet. The contents were still steaming. He was facing Kaori, who was standing completely still. Did he throw his food on the floor? Was it that bad? No way. This was clearly something way bigger than that. What's gotten into you? Chemi and the others didn't seem to understand either. They shifted uneasily. Ane. What? Wolfsbane. The plant. There's aconite in the food. What? Meiko-chan, did you eat any? Oh, she is poisoning everyone. Yeah, she is poisoning everyone. But not yet. What about the rest of you? Hold on, I'm so lost. Is that true? Look at the leaves. They shine. The other side isn't white, and the tip is pointy. They smell different too. This isn't mugwort or windflower. You're right. It's wolfsbane. You used wild plants, Mom? Yes. That was close. What a mistake. Someone almost got poison. She wants to kill us. Huh? Wait, it's just a mistake, that's it. Don't be so cruel. Haru-chan stopped talking when she realized the suspect was acting strange. Kaori-san was staring right at Kyonosuke-san. She, not moving an inch, smiling. She was completely glaring him down. Yes. That response was so delayed, we had no idea what it was for. When Kyonosuke backed away a bit, his expression shifted from rage to fear. Oh my god! Oh my god. You should all die. As she stood there, waiting, madly, she brandished a knife. She was hardly moving quickly. My head is light, oh my god. But the sight of the blade had shunted our reflexes. I'd seen some bizarre corpses here. I'd bore witness to what pure malice could do. But still, living, blatant malevolence, killing intent, was intense enough to paralyze everyone present. I barely registered the scene unfolding before me. Staggering a bit, the woman passed the counter. The sharp knife was still green with something, likely shavings of aconite. She raised her voice and aimed the poison weapon at the nearest target, Kyonosuke-san. Well, Kyonosuke-san's confirmed human. I'm going in. I don't know why I moved when I did. I was a man of words, not of impulse. In times of crisis, I was the type to turn tail and run after making some sort of parting threat. I shouldn't have been on good terms with either Kyonosuke or Kaori-san to risk my life for them. Yet, when it came to my senses, my body was dancing, charging straight for Kaori-san with my right shoulder. And after a brief struggle, we collapsed. I heard her let out a strained cackle in my ears. I had to change my posture. Unless I pinned her knife hand down, but in the end, it turned out I really wasn't cut out for the job. These roundabout things were just delaying the inevitable. When the madly laughing woman embraced me, my thoughts ground to a complete halt. She stabbed me right in the back. Simple as that. To her, I was just another obstacle that had to be removed. I didn't know if the wound itself was fatal, but I could tell the blade had sunk incredibly deep. And that was coated in leaf green poison. It must have been a near instant death. My mind quickly grew hazy, yet my final moments were those of self-reflection. Reckless actions really aren't my forte, after all. Dedge. Bad ending number 5. Watch Hint Corner? I'm not going to watch the Hint Corner. I know why we died here. I kind of was expecting to die here. I'm not going to watch the Hint Corner. Guess it was just a dream. Okay, I am going to go back to that part, and I'm going to play that through until... hold on. Where's my chart? I want to try to get to part 4, basically. Okay. I also had another choice on this day, like really early on. Or on this part really early on. I could try to run. Anyways, let's go back to the bottom. Why did... Oh, no, those are just lines. I thought those all had, like, branching paths. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tackle her kills me. We know that. Okay. Find a nearby weapon. I had no idea when my body began to move. Yeah, this game is super cool. I'm probably only going to play for another like couple minutes and then call it, but I want to get to some kind of conclusion point that isn't death. I was old, wooden, and heavy. Picking up made me lose my balance for a bit. I pointed its legs at the would-be murderer and dashed forward as fast as I could. A crash of pain, a scream. Amidst the cacophony, I attempted to keep Kaori-san pinned down. I pressed the edge of the chair against her knife arm. She cried out in pain, and the blade clattered to the floor. Chiemi then quickly kicked it away. In hindsight, it had all happened in a mere matter of seconds. In fact, tying her up was way harder, what with her foaming at the mouth and struggling. In the end, we bound her limbs and gagged her to silence her bloodthirsty screams. With that done, we had no choice but to face reality. I know I'm probably not the best person to ask, but what do you even do about this? 6 of us stood in the mist right outside the dining hall. Kaori-san was locked inside. She's also become a Yombito. No, that can't be. She's just not feeling well. I guess she really was pushing herself. Of course she was. Do you have any idea how poor Yoshi was to her? He was foolish, short-tempered and annoying, but no, that's exactly why she treasured him so much. She often said he was as reckless as his father. I'll take responsibility and calm her down myself. Please forgive her for this. We should decide this at the feast. Please wait. This is a personal outburst that has nothing to do with the feast. Keep her out of it. How can you be so certain? She might have succumbed to the corruption. Nosato-san. Everything in the mists has to be decided at the feast. Breaking that law risks falling victim to corruption. That's true. Very well. Let's go. No, Yasunaga-san. Kun, she'll be killed. I won't let that happen. Fusashi-san, please look after her. Not gonna lock me up again? No one replied. Apparently, it didn't matter anymore. There's like no one left. Chiemi-chan. Chiemi-chan's got the weird eyes too, dude. She was making the same face she did whenever she talked about God. I knew this would happen. Strangely enough, there was emotion in her eyes. I could see 90% resignation and 10% fear. Watching me until she finally passed out of sight, she followed the others toward the hall. Okay. So the feast is starting here. This is where I'm going to call it. This is a good place to stop. Let me save. We're in part 3. We'll do a little breakdown. Let me do my outro. So this is saved. It's it's so over. Yeah, it's like not even funny how over it is. Excuse me. But I expect the first loop for the Wolves to win, right? Like, that's not terribly uncommon. Okay, so return. Let's exit the game. And let me get some music going. All right. Woohoo! So this game is getting interesting. Yeah, the game is called Raging Loop. So this is getting interesting, huh? So we've got 4... Who's left alive? 4 humans. We got Meiko, who's clearly human, or who has been exposed as human. We've got Chiemi, Haru. We've got Nosato, who's a human. Meiko, who's a human. So between Chiemi, Haru, and Oribe-kun, 2 are probably wolves. Did I ever play Tragedy Looper? Is that the one where you're time travel agents and you get like so many shots to like fix a scenario? Oh, and Tai is alive too, excuse me. Yeah, so there are 6. Nah. Oh, okay. So it's basically this in a board game. Oh yeah, no, then I don't think I've ever played it. I've played that one where you're like time cops and you have to like go back and like solve a mystery and you get like X amount of like re-loops. That might be called like Time Corpse or something like that. That's Time Stories. Yeah, I like that game a lot. But yeah, I've never played Tragedy Looper. So 6 are alive. Tai, Oribe, Haru, Chiemi, Meiko, and Nosato. And so of the 4, between Tai, Haru, Chiemi, and Uribe, 2 are probably wolves. The crow didn't get to do anything either. Damn. But yeah, super fun, super fun. I will be back at this game. I think it's Haru and Uribe. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think it's Chiemi. And we know it's not the other 2, so... And then, like, I think their flirting was the cover for them communicating. That's fair. That makes a lot of sense, actually, yeah. It could be Tai, too. I don't know. She hasn't done much of anything, so... We'll see. We'll find out next time. Okay, so plugs. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow if you want to watch it again, or if you missed the first part. Exclamation point YouTube for my YouTube channel. I upload all my VODs 24 hours after, so they can be watched again. And then follow me on Twitter for go live notifications. Exclamation point Twitter for that. Y'all probably already know all that though. And then next stream, so tomorrow I'm doing the WASD BlazBlue beginner tournament, so I won't be streaming. Friday, I won't stream either. So Saturday will be the next stream. I initially had plans on Saturday, but it looks like the hosts caught the coronavirus, so they are not hosting. So in that case, I am going to definitely be streaming Saturday. It is either going to be Undernight, more Raging Loop, or Halo with Magic. We might finish Halo 1. If you didn't see the Halo stream, that was super fun. Definitely check that one out. That one went up on YouTube last night. And then my uni stream went up tonight. I think that's it. Not a whole lot else. Let me see who's streaming, if we can raid someone. Just give me 1 second. And then I gotta go cut this. I gotta make a thumbnail for this one. I'm not sure. Oh, that's my voice. Jushichi is streaming. Nah, he's streaming uni though, so like this wasn't really a uni stream. If I was streaming uni, I'd send you over there. But either way, thanks for watching. We'll be back Saturday. And yeah, it was a good stream, and I can't wait for the next Raging Loop stream. I might, okay, keep an eye on Twitter, because I might do a Gorilla Raging Loop stream Friday. I might just do it if I can't wait to find out what happens. So, might do an unscheduled Friday stream, but no promises, just a maybe. Okay, that's it for me. Have a good night, everyone.